Welcome everybody. Another episode of the Centre Circle podcast. I think we're on episode 34 now.
That's right.
Episode 34. I've got myself, John here.
Yeah, Daz is in the building.
Man like Keith.
Welcome, boys. How's everyone doing?
Yeah, all good, all good. Another interesting weekend.
Oh,
Yeah,
mate.
not too bad. Not as jubilant as last time I recorded, but
Mate, I think if you lot lost, we probably won't be recording today. It'll just be me and Daz.
yeah. Well, the person who's been on their case the most hasn't turned up today.
Mysterious illness.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, look, as you can get it from the preamble, we've got a few things to get through. Our usual Premier League review. We'll be going through, how United got on this weekend, the various statements that have come out of the Arsenal game, the the 6-star performance from City, Liverpool scraping a draw away at Luton, and the Brentford result as well, which shocked a few people. Plus, we've got a few bits to talk about. Managers going back to their former clubs. Rumours about David Moyes' contract situation. We'll definitely be going in on that one. Take a look at the interesting situation in the Liga with Girona. I'm sure someone will tell me that's incorrect pronunciation, but it is what it is. Also talk about Leverkusen and the ripples they're making over in the Bundesliga. And of course, our old mate, Thomas Tuchel. He never seeks to disappoint in the press conferences. So, a few bits to get to. Let's start right at the top. Manchester United. They bought a win, man. They bought a win.
Needed it.
Massively.
Captain Bruno. Good finish, good goal, good finish. I mean, scraping a 1-0 away win at Fulham is not something you would shout about before, but can't knock them. We've talked about them for weeks, but they got a win out of the bag. Have you seen the game?
Yeah, I saw the game.
What did you think?
Wasn't a great performance by United. Fulham, they looked like they just couldn't score. Like, they were really good up until the final third, where they got to the edge of the box, where people like Iwobi, Willian, they looked like they were never going to score. Man United didn't really have much chances. McTominay had a couple of little chances. They had a goal disallowed in the first half. And really, it just came down to one bit of quality.
Yeah.
One bit of quality from Bruno. And that's what you get with him.
Well, somebody, Keith, immediately blamed the keeper.
Yeah.
So the keeper should have done better.
I was about to interject and say...
Well, no, I agree. The keeper should have done better.
But
But
from Bruno's point of view.
I'm talking about he took 3 players out the game before he'd done the shot. And
Yeah, there's a bit of ping pong. It wasn't like...
there was a bit of ping pong, but then when he faked the shot and three
Yeah,
of them
okay,
went,
okay, I'll
three of
give
them
you that,
went.
but,
Paulina, I think there was another midfielder. They all went.
Yeah,
They all gone.
No, I'll give him that, but yeah, I still think Leno's their keeper, isn't it? Yeah, Leno should be saving that.
Do you think it was a bit unsighted because it did come around a defender
Yeah, possibly,
as well?
but I think with most goalkeepers, will say if you get a decent hand to it, you'd be expected to keep it out. On the performance of United, again, I think it just papers over cracks. Going back to the McTominay goal that I disallowed, I think if that goes in, it's quite early on in the game, it might have been set up to be a different game for Man United.
Yeah.
It might have been that kind of confidence-boosting game that they seem to have needed.
Just quickly, did you agree with the reasoning for the disallowed of the goal?
Yeah, I do, because...
Even though he never touched the ball?
Wait, but let's just give a context. What was it for people that didn't see it?
So basically, it's a free kick. It's come over. Maguire is offside, but he doesn't touch the ball. But he goes for it. And then someone who's onside behind him then knocks it back across for McTominay to score.
So interfering with play type vibes.
So they've disallowed it just for the fact that Maguire went for the ball, even though he never even touched the ball.
Yeah, I can't remember who it is who crossed it in, but there's a Fulham defender in between that player and Maguire. So that the ball's come in, that defender's gone to Maguire because Maguire's gone to play the ball. They've both missed it. It's gone to the player at the back post who's crossed it in for McTominay.
Oh, I think that's fair.
So
without seeing it, but you got
it's one of those decisions where you look back and like you can understand why it's been disallowed. But yeah, if they I think if that's given, early goal away at Fulham, who are not kind of known for kind of getting back into games really against the bigger teams, even though they played quite well against United over the last season or two. But yeah, just that goal got disallowed and the game was just a bit flat. There was no real quality from either teams. And yeah, Man United scraped the victory. But again, they needed it. They got it without playing well. Again, they've either got a draw or a win. They're only 6 points off top 4. So
what did I say last week? You only takes 2 or 3 wins and
yeah, this is it. But I think what we would say is when they come up against the better teams, I think they're going to be put to the sword, to be honest.
But they've got a lot of injuries. If they start getting players back, they've got, I know injuries is an excuse, but they've got a lot.
Especially in defence.
Yeah, they've got more than your average. You've got to think they're playing Maguire and Evans as their...
Yeah, but Varane's fit.
He's just not
picking him. Like
this, I'll tell you what.
There must be something going on behind the scenes there. Why he's not playing? Why he's on the bench?
Yeah, like Maguire.
You might have just thought Maguire's playing well.
Yeah, and Johnny Evans. Like to be fair, they've done all right. But yeah, like Wan-Bissaka, their first choice right back. You've got your first. Maguire's a capable.
Wan-Bissaka's just come back though, and
he started. To be fair,
he played. He had a good game actually. You got Varane, Maguire, Evans. Like granted, Evans isn't really up there. But you've got a decent centre-back pairing of Varane and
Martinez
Maguire.
would be the starter.
Yeah, Martinez would definitely be the starter.
And then Luke Shaw as well.
He's missing. But outside of that...
I mean, you bought Irregular on loan. He's not making a splash. Amrabat's holding bench.
Yeah, Casemiro's injured for a while. They said,
Oh dear. I mean, Mason Mount came on as well.
Yeah, he's back.
So this is the thing, is like, you're right, they got injuries, but as we discussed a few times, a lot of their investments are still available. They're here, and they're not making the impact that that investment would like them to make. But
their recruitment's been poor. That's it, really.
Facts.
Like,
big facts.
Even if you say right, they've got injured players. If everyone was fit, and you look at Man United starting 11, you'd be like, "Is this what 400 million has brought us? Like, is it good enough? Not really."
No, it's great. I mean, and you could pay for potential, but what they paid for Haaland, mate, 80 million.
I think he's not the worst.
I think it's 80 all in. Like, I don't think it was.
I think Anthony's the worst.
Oh yeah, by far.
By
absolute far. Absolutely.
Pound for pound.
Yeah. That was like no incentives, isn't it? Like, just give me the 100 mil cash money.
Someone said it's the worst transfer pound for pound ever in football, in the history of football.
History of football. I thought you were going to say the Premier League.
And this is the thing now. So you win that game. As you say, there's 6 points off top 4. Next game's at home to Luton. The game after that's away to Everton. Again, 2 winnable games. Or 2 games where you can get points. After that, then it's Newcastle away, Chelsea at home. But you put together a few games run now. It changed the landscape. And I think I've said this over the past week. We're getting to that 12-game mark now. And they've got to pull out results for him. But it's Man United. We've been there before. But definitely, they cannot get anything less than 3 points at home to Luton. I'm sorry. That surely cannot be even a thing.
It's just whether it's more the performance now, isn't it? Like, because we can see they can get the results if need be. You just need the performances to back it up. And I think that's what they've been lacking over the last couple of months.
Their big game is the Champions League one. I think that's the big game. That's the most pressing issue right now. Because if you don't want to be going out group stages.
But again, with the standards they've set, I've not even seen much commentary around what their form means for their Champions League progression. I think everyone's just subconsciously written it off. And wherever they get to, right? Because the form in the league's been so bad. You're the first person I've seen, even on all the pods I listen to anything, say Champions League, Manchester United. No one's even bothered to. Because I think the expectation is so low.
But they should be going through that group. That wasn't a tough group. Take Bayern out of it.
Siri, no one's talking to you.
The other 2 teams, you've got to be coming second.
Man, you see that should word?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I think I'm gonna have to dash it the bid for my United.
Because didn't they get knocked out of the group stage last time they were in the Champions League? Yeah, because they got down to Europa and they played Barca, innit? Yeah,
They beat
so
Barca.
big United, 2 group stage knockouts.
No, but you're right.
Crazy.
As an overall picture, they should be getting out of the group. He gets a couple of wins. All of a sudden, he's in the mix. Sort of 6th, 7th, 8th. The narrative changes massively. We know the game. I guess my hesitation with that story is we've been there before. They win a game, or they pull something out of the bag last minute. And that being so close is almost indicative of where they are. So then the next couple of games, they go back to form, as such. But yeah, they're away to Copenhagen on Wednesday, and then it's Luton at home on Saturday. So
that Luton ain't a given. That's not a given.
It's not, but it should be, isn't it?
It should be, but
no.
It's not a given.
It's not. That's true. That's true. That is true. All right, moving on. Arsenal. Arsenal.
Where do we
Newcastle
start?
1, Arsenal 0. Let's deal with the game first. Daz, you watched the game? Oh, well, you were there.
Yeah, I was
there.
there.
Correspondent on the ground.
Yeah, my first time up Newcastle. First time doing Newcastle away.
They put us in the gods, innit, away fans.
Yeah, right. I was row Z, like the last row. The last, but to be fair, it wasn't that bad. It wasn't as bad as what everyone says. The worst.
It's a stadium where you can see the pitch wherever you are, but you are just quite high and steep.
The worst bit was getting up there. That's getting up the stairs. Hella stairs. Someone called it stairs away. That's what they call it. So it was a good day. I don't know, when you go away, it hits you a bit differently.
Yeah.
Because you've booked the annual leave day. You've got you pay for your train ticket, you've got on the train, you've gone all the way up there.
Pay for hotel.
Yeah, hotel. You traveled 250 miles. So when you see the game, you see everything that happens, afterwards I was just like, I don't know, I see how Mikel felt. I felt disappointed, hurt, upset. But like, when I looked at it, I was thinking, this has nothing to do with a referee decision or VAR. What I was feeling, the same sort of emotions, was all about the team.
Yeah.
I thought...
Let's start with the overall performance though.
Yeah.
I
thought...
Didn't do enough.
I thought it was poor.
Yeah.
I thought it was poor. I think this season, I've been saying it, I wish a couple other guys were here telling me early on in the season that this is all right. I think that we've changed. I don't even recognize what I'm watching no more. The team has changed now to like zero creativity. It's just about controlling the game. It's like we're trying to win a game 0-0.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. What it is, I think the manager's got it wrong. I'm one of Mikel's biggest supporters up to now, but I think this year, he's got it completely wrong. He's changed it now. We got zero creativity. I watched 98 minutes at Newcastle, travelled 200 miles and how many hours, couldn't even get home because the trains were all cancelled. We had one shot on goal. One shot on target that all three of us in this room could have saved. I'm just like, what's going on? Last season, it was like a heavy metal football. We were going at teams. Now, it's just like, we just want to control the game and that's it. We want to nick it. We want to 0-0 and then nick it.
Do you think that absence of someone like Odegaard was telling? Someone to move the ball?
No, because it's been the same with Odegaard in there as well. I've been seeing this the whole season. That early on in the season, I was saying it's not right. They're not playing right. Now I've kind of changed myself as if to say, I don't think they're not playing well. I think this is their level. You don't not play well I've seen 10 games now, 10, 11 games. They've played at the same level for 10 games. So that tells me that's your level. You're not playing bad. If you do it for 2-3 games, I'll say, then they ain't clicked yet. But I think it's been a decent sample size now.
Yeah.
And yeah, as I said before, I don't think we're going to be in a title race because we're not going to win enough games.
I think there's also an element of people know now. Do you know what I mean?
100%.
People know. Like, if you see how they locked up Saka, he didn't have a influential game at all. Didn't play well. He was quiet.
I think it's both your wingers. I think if you can silence Martinelli and Saka, I think you're in a good chance of nullifying a lot of what Arsenal.
I think the team's been found out.
No, I agree.
I think the big change is Zinchenko. So he was the most influential player last season on the ball in the middle. Now he's a non-factor. Everyone knows what he's gonna do.
Bad night at Anfield.
Everyone's
Still got nightmares.
no, but everyone now knows. Okay, he's gonna come in from left back. You do this, you do this, you do this, and
And when we get the
nullify
ball,
him.
target that area.
Yeah.
Target him at left back. His defending is awful. He can't jump. Blah blah blah. And we saw that with goals and opportunities last week. Look at the West Ham goal. You know that just goes straight over his head. Doesn't even try to jump. Doesn't even try to head the ball. Makes Kudus look like prime Cristiano. So I definitely think there's always a combination of things. I think the team's not firing all cylinders. I think some of the tweaks Arteta has made have not come off. The Havertz experiment is not coming off. Jorginho, you know, whilst he has his qualities, you know, these guys were always going to come out and do heavy metal. He's not fast enough. He's too slow.
Yeah, I think I said in the group, like when I saw the team sheet and you see Rice, Jorginho, and Havertz. It's not a midfield three that fills you with confidence or excitement.
It's
weak.
Yeah, like that's not a midfield three that's gonna push you on for top four, let alone challenging for a title. And I know, was Odegaard injured? Is that why he didn't play?
Yeah. Late
So like
withdrawal.
your hand was forced, but it kind of goes back to who Arteta signed to be your squad players, right? So
Exactly. Where's Vieira?
You want your players who come off the bench to kind of be somewhat influential, or if they've got a start, you've got hope in them that they can put in a not as stellar job as what your starting lineup will be, because that doesn't always happen, but you're confident to be like, oh yeah, I don't mind this, but yeah, I was like, I'm not even an Arsenal fan. I was like, ooh, that midfield's techie.
But this is where the West Ham defeat says a lot, right? Because you're giving someone like Reece Nelson this pretty large contract for someone who hasn't played a lot of games in his previous one. I don't see where we get that. Was, you know, a friend of mine put this out this week. That was clearly just you know, to hold value in case you sell him on, because on the pitch he doesn't deliver. You know, against West Ham is non-existent. Every time he gets the ball, he's passing it back. He's not giving his fullback any issues or nightmares. Like it's an easy night for you. So in a game like this, where maybe Martinelli or Saka, you know, to your point, they know their game, right? I think they give you different things on either wing. But if you do a decent analysis, you can come prepared for them. He's not even coming off the bench and being a bit of a surprise.
I don't think he trusts him. No,
I don't blame him after Wednesday.
I don't think the manager trusts him.
I don't blame him after Wednesday. He hasn't shown him any reason to trust him. Smith Rowe's injured again, so he wasn't even involved. Like, it's just...
And the Saka Martinelli, they look like chalk and cheese from last season.
Yeah.
Last season, every time they got the ball, Saka is going at his man, trying to go past him. Switch it, Martinelli, going at his man, trying to go past him. Now they just get the ball, little dribble, turn back and pass it back. And the fullbacks are not overlapping or anything. They're not helping them. Most teams now double up on Martinelli, double up on Saka. That's it. And I think we could have been playing till now and wouldn't score the goal.
Yeah.
Do you think there should be times when Arteta should just swap them, even if it's for like 10 minutes?
Yeah, do something.
Because like your games are televised quite a lot, and there's times I'm watching, I'm like,
you're all right.
Just say like,
those high viewing figures.
That's what, the people they want.
And you just think, why don't you swap them for 10, 15 minutes just to see how they get on? I know like managers and players like
super precise Arteta. Everything's to the
like
bridge.
Players to cut in on their favoured foot or whatever. But I just think it just gives the fullback a different kind of perspective to think about, innit? Because they focus on Martinelli, who's quite direct, etc. Saka will kind of come in on his left. Swap him, see what happens. Give the fullbacks a different problem.
You know what I don't like? It's almost now there's so many tactics. It's like our team is become robotic.
Yeah.
As in, everything that's going to happen.
Yeah,
it's too complicated. You know everything's going to happen. You know every single move. And you're like, where's anything off the cuff? It's like all the players have been told what to do in every scenario. If this happens, then you do this. If that happens, you do that. It's not like, where's the freedom? There's no fluidity. There's no freedom.
I think
It's like they're so rigid.
I think the other bit of that as well is the people that are meant to come and do a difference. They're also a form. Like Trossard, you know, again, he starts Wednesday, doesn't do anything great, comes on, and we bought him as a difference maker, as an alternative. So I think you're right. I think there's that. But people's form in executing those plans can help bridge the gap a little bit. You know, if people are actually doing what they're supposed to be doing well, doing it at a high level. And then you got people like Rice who, throughout all this, I think has been good. I think it's been great. I think, you know, when you go to a new job, you're putting your best foot forward. You're trying to prove that you can play this level. And I think that's what's driving him. But he's in the kind of role where he can play as well as he wants. But if the people in and around him aren't doing their jobs,
I feel sorry for him.
I
feel sorry for him. He probably come to Arsenal thinking, this is going to be great. He's probably looking around thinking, I feel like I'm back at West Ham. it's that bad.
Mate.
Like, literally, I don't even... Obviously, I go to a lot of the games, so I see the team from a different perspective. When you're at the game, you can see certain things that you can't see on TV. And you can also feel the team when you're there, because you can actually... You know, when they say in the crowd, they will say, the crowd's nervous, this is happening. So you can feel it. And it feels completely different. I'm actually bored watching the team now. And I could never say that last season. I feel like it's boring. Some of the football is absolutely boring.
I don't know if I agree with that. I just think when teams have come prepared for Arsenal and they've come to nullify, then yeah. When they've come to play as well, it's not as slick as last season, but we still get to play. But again, then in those moves, it comes to certain people. It will come to Havertz, it will break down, or he will just do something. You know, in an area where maybe a Xhaka or someone would have played forward or would have played that splitting pass or whatever it is, Havertz is not contributing in that way.
Do you think it's slow? Do you think it's slower though? The game will play. That's what I think that's where I'm going with the board and I think it's really slow. And I saw a stat saying that Arsenal's not scored a goal within the first 15 minutes this season.
Imagine.
And that's completely different to last season. Last season, we used to start games quick. We used to come out the blocks and be like, let's go after them. Now it's like, let's just sit back for the first 20 minutes and feel our way into the game.
I remember I was saying about it, sorry, I'm just on the pace. Remember Chelsea, my first thing I said at the Chelsea game, we moved the ball too slowly, allowed Chelsea to reset. They could get the double teams up and the pressure's on. So there's definitely a pace thing there. There is definitely a pace thing. And as much as I give Jesus stick, that is one thing he's good at, moving the ball quickly, having that zip in and around.
But these changes, do you think this has been done by design, by Arteta and the coaching team, or do you think this is something that's just happened because of the personnel?
I think it's a personnel thing. I don't think it's the pace is slowed by design, because the school of thought that Arteta kind of grew up in, and that it's all about moving the ball quickly, displacing the team, switching the ball around, recycling it. So I think it's personnel. I think it's personnel and team and the opposing team setup. I think it's personnel and the opposing team.
I think Newcastle was set up quite well. I think it wasn't too dissimilar
to how they dealt with Dortmund. I mean PSG.
PSG and Liverpool, like just get in their faces basically, because you know you do that, the crowd's going to get on your side, and they were physical. Like, I know we're going to touch on all the incidents and stuff, but like even before Dan Burn went off, like he was just niggling at Saka, like for the whole time he was on the pitch, just kind of like, right, I'm here in it. Like you've got to get past me in it. Like I'm making you know this is what your afternoon's gonna be about. And I know people I think Newcastle getting hit with a stick because of who their owners are now, but it's like, the people are saying Newcastle don't really come to play, they're boring, etc. But you got to kind of think they're coming up against one of the better teams in the league. Like, you're not going to go and play Arsenal and be expansive and open, because you're just going to get picked off.
Yeah, all of that's rubbish. Because to your point, if they did that, we'll be saying their manager's naive, blah, blah, blah. All that's rubbish.
Yeah, this is it. So I think you've got to give Eddie Howe a bit of credit for kind of how he set up his team.
More than a bit of credit.
And
he
his
did
players,
job.
and his players for executing what he... I don't think the game was full of quality.
No.
And to be fair, it was a bit stop-start, so that could be one of the reasons.
Well, that could be part of their blood.
Yeah, this is it. But yeah, like, fair play to Newcastle, man. Like, they came, had a game plan, executed it well.
Well, look, I think to your point about incidents, I think I don't know if I've said it as clearly as this, but I think refereeing is not great at the moment. Lots of big things are getting missed. I don't know how Bruno goes for so long without picking up a booking.
Yeah, ridiculous.
Shocking.
The elbow forearm was, I don't know how that's gone to VAR, and they've not been like at least have a look at it and decide what you want to do. Like it's a blatant elbow. Like send him off. It's crazy.
And I just feel like since the Tottenham game, everyone's on edge. I feel like officials are on edge. Since the whole goal incident, Liverpool, everyone's on edge. Officials on edge. How many times did we say on the weekend they've bottled that? You know? And that was going on physical. And I've noticed a couple of teams now, it's a bit like the old story. Get physical with Arsenal, throw them off their game. We don't have the biggest, most imposing team. You think about it, right? You've got Rice, you've got the defenders. So the two centre backs are pretty big. Ben White, so our back four's pretty big.
Yeah, the back four.
But apart from the rest of the front line is tiny. So you get in and around them. You've got Rice throwing himself about, but that's it. Jorginho's not exactly, going to cause anyone any physical problems. So that I think that worked for them. The mentality thing as well. They were getting arguments all over the place. That's why Havertz started running around. He should have gone as well.
Oh, easily. Red card for me.
Yeah. He should have gone that tackle straight off.
Silly
Again,
I thought it was fair when I
ridiculous.
first, but in the replays,
That was ridiculous.
Yeah.
And it's unnecessary as well. Isn't it? Like it's just because where it is
What
on the
did you have
pitch.
to gain?
Yeah,
Even
where it is on the
if
pitch.
you won that tackle, the ball's gonna go for you for a throw-in.
Exactly.
What are you gonna gain?
But that's them getting in their heads, right? And that's the difference.
I think that's him thinking, I got to look like I'm doing something because I can't affect the game.
No, but you say that though, but there'll be a lot of your fan base who'll be like, showing passion.
Yeah.
So
He's working for the shirt.
Oh, yeah. That's
all that nonsense.
yeah, you're right. It would fool some people. But
Nah. And then we get to the goal. Get to the goal. And I remember watching the goal. And the first thing I thought, why are you not struggling to clear this ball? That air kick that Gabriel did, yeah. He went through this period last season where it felt like he was making a mistake every game.
Yeah, I remember.
That
remember it clearly.
That was it took me back to that time. And as soon as he did that, I thought, whoa, we back here again. Yeah, that is poor.
He has it in him. He has a mistake in him. He has it in him.
And then that's fine. The ball comes over. So the ball's gone out. I think the ball's out. I think the ball is out. But the problem is, that's the issue. You can find one person who thinks the ball in. You think one person thinks the ball's out.
You ideally need the bird's eye view in it. But
and you're never going to get that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And the problem is, it's a bit like, those court cases where you have to prove you're innocent rather than prove someone's guilty. If they can't prove the ball's out, it's in.
Yeah, this is it.
It's in. So,
but some people are like, if you can't prove it's in,
because
I'm like, that
but
doesn't really
work
work.
because
You know what they need to do though? They need to change the rules. The problem is the rule.
Why?
Because you're never going to be able to, in a situation like that, I remember Japan scored a goal in the World Cup where we all thought it was out, but then you could see they had the shot and you could see the curve.
Yeah.
But how are you, no one can see that with their eyes. So
what should they change the rule to then?
The surface.
Of the ball?
Yeah, because that's what you can tell.
No,
you can tell.
No, you can't do that.
You can't do that.
That affects goals.
Yeah.
Because for it to be a goal, the whole ball has to be over the line.
Yeah.
So you can't.
And that's part of the ball.
Yeah, you can't do surface.
But then at least you can
can't
tell.
do surface outside the goal line.
Well, no, maybe make it for a goal as well. Then
Come on, get out of here.
Because how else do you
ball
tell?
touches the line, it's a goal.
No, the surface of the ball is past the line. So you're not going by the curve of the ball. You're going by the floor of the ball.
So the problem you've got there is the curve of the ball is still the surface of the ball. So what you're saying...
but what's touching the floor I'm talking about,
So the contact of the ball needs to have crossed whatever line.
Yeah, rather than the curvature that you can't tell. How are you going to...
What if the ball's in the air?
Yeah, bro.
That's a good one. I mean, look, I say it's impossible. It's impossible to tell then.
Yeah, unless you have cameras.
I'm not that. I'll be honest. I'm not that fussed about it.
I'm not. Yeah, do you know
for
what?
me,
As an Arsenal
because
fan,
the ball shouldn't have
whatever.
got there. The ball shouldn't have got there. Number one, right? Ball shouldn't have got there.
I've not got no. I wouldn't argue that.
To your point about saying you got to prove it's in, that's not how it works. The current state of play is the ball is in.
Oh yeah, I'm with you. But I know
if you want it to be out, you have to conclusively say the ball is out. I thought it was out. That's me trying to be as objective as possible. But if I was an Arsenal fan, I don't know if I'm saying that, right? Then he crossed the ball back in. This joker is there. Where was Ray again? What was he flapping at? I don't understand.
I don't know what
It wasn't even a difficult whipped cross, I think.
Yeah.
You set yourself properly, two things happen. You catch the ball, or all that kerfuffle that's going on behind you, someone bundles you over and you get a free kick because you're a goalkeeper.
Yeah. Know what it looked like?
Can you just not let Ben White off just before that? Because he thought the ball went out and stopped playing. Like,
Yeah, there's that
what
too.
did they
A
tell
few
you
of
as
them
a
did
five,
that.
as
A
a
few of them-
6-year-old,
yeah.
7-year-old, 8-year-old? What did you get told? Play to the whistle.
No.
And
fine.
Jorginho shouted him, go out to him, go out to him.
Yeah.
He doesn't even move.
Ray appointed
He
as well.
doesn't even
Yeah.
move. He let Willock take 2-3 touches to come right into the
Yeah.
box
Yeah.
Yeah.
and then cross it in.
But I think Ray thought Willock might have shot near post. So if
You see
you
Nah,
PTSD from Chelsea.
so if you look at his positioning, he's covering. He's like quite near his
Yeah,
near
it's poor.
post.
It's poor.
Yeah, it's poor.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's
How can you think? How can you be you're thinking that?
yeah, and then the way he just flaps it, he just
If he was in a half decent position, he would have got that cross.
yeah. If he was like 2 or 3 yards back,
Yeah.
yeah, just
He
set
was like
himself-
right out the near post, like thinking, what the hell were you doing
So
there?
for me, the contentious bit is sandwiched in between two clear opportunities for our team to deal with the situation.
Yeah.
So then he flaps at the ball. Then you've got the whole push situation with Joe Linton and Gabriel. I've seen those given. I think that's a foul. But again, he shouldn't have even got there. Shouldn't have got there. But I think it's a foul. Gary Neville's in commentary saying, oh, that's not a foul. I don't think it's a foul. Don't even get me started on that, gentlemen, today. I think it's but again, you've seen them given more often than not.
Yeah, you've
Yeah.
seen them given, but you've
More
seen them
often than
not given.
Yeah.
So you can't. It's not definitive because to me,
What, two
As-
hands outstretched in a man's back?
my centre back, I want him to deal with that. I think he should have been stronger. I think he should have headed it.
yeah.
I think that he
I
plays.
think
I think he plays for the foul. And
Yeah,
I know
yeah, I
Gabriel,
agree.
he defends like that.
Yeah,
You'd rather get the foul than
Yeah.
deal with it.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I think Raya flapping put him off slightly as well.
Yeah.
I thought he thought Raya might have got the ball.
Yeah.
He's seen it come, and he's kind of done this weird kind of dip.
Yeah.
Like,
And then
you
he's
could have
felt it and went
flicked-
over.
Yeah.
He's felt the push or his hands on him, and he's gone over, looking for the foul.
Yeah. See, with the foul, yeah, I think if you go back like maybe like let's say 10 years,
Hmm.
that's not given as a foul in the Premier League. Like over the years, the rules have kind of changed, etc. Where now he's kind of like, well, if someone puts their hands on you, you're generally gonna get a free kick. So I think when Gary Neville's saying that's not a foul, I think he's going back old school kind of way of
Yeah.
thinking. The way the rules have been implemented over the last kind of however many years, then you'd be like, right, that's gonna be a free kick kind of thing. Because I saw it in real time, I was like, nah, just bundled. Looking back, and I think to the ref's point,
Yeah.
I don't think any of this is on the ref. All the contentious things go back to VAR, innit?
Yeah.
Like, because in real time, you can't tell if the ball's gone out of play
Yep.
if you're the
Yeah.
ref. It just looks like a bit of a coming together. And the next bit that we'll get onto, it just looks like Gordon's onside, didn't it?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
so for the ref, I think if you took VAR out of the equation and we couldn't have the luxury of VAR, it's a goal.
Yeah.
But because we got the luxury of going back and reviewing everything, that's why everyone's a bit like,
But I
"Whoa."
think in pre-VAR times, I think he gives the push.
You think so?
Yeah, I think they give the push.
Nah, I don't
I think
think
you
so.
can't
I
give the
think-
one
I
on
think
the
that's- I
line
think
because the
that's-
I don't think
linesman's
so.
all the way on the other side.
Nah,
You
I
can't
think
see for the post and all that.
pre-VAR,
I think pre-VAR is a goal.
everyone just goes, that's a
Everyone
goal.
accepts the
Yeah.
goal. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
No, I think the whole thing about the ball being out just goes out the window because the linesman's not seeing through
Yeah.
two posts and the whole defenders. That doesn't even get talked about and the ref can't see it from where he is. It gets talked about, but not as a thing of the ref should
What
have seen
about the
that.
handball? No one really discussed. No one
Nah.
talked about
Handball.
that. Joe Linton, ball comes with his hand as well.
Yeah. Nah.
No one really discussed it. Like, they looked at the
I'm
foul.
not gonna lie, Daz, at that point I was so vexed with our defending, yeah. And then the offside. What do you think? Because by the law, by the rules, there's one player between him and the goal. He's offside.
But you
No,
know
you
what?
can't see though.
But you know why they didn't give you
We
offside?
can't see.
Because it wasn't conclusive that the ball came off Joe Linton last before it went to
Yeah.
Gordon. So if they So if VAR could say it conclusively came off Joe Linton, then fell to Gordon, he would have been offside.
I thought it's because they never had the angle.
No. That's what they didn't have the angle to conclusively say who it came off last. And this was everything about the whole VAR. They couldn't conclusively say it went over the line.
Yeah.
They couldn't conclusively say that it was a foul, and they couldn't conclusively say that it came off Joe Linton.
But it is understandable though.
Yeah,
it is understandable.
And from VAR's point of view, I think on the far one, it has to be an error. They have to be sure that the referee has missed something.
Yeah.
Offside one, I mean, with today's technology, you'd hope they'll be able to get as many camera angles as possible, but we're still going to find angles
you've got players in the way. You ain't going to find a camera that can see through players.
Yeah,
so
for me, the defending, man, that's what's annoyed me the most. I'll be honest. Like, that's what's annoyed me the most. And then we've got the reactions after. I know Arteta's vexed and all that stuff, but sometimes he comes across like a sport child. I'm not gonna lie. Even the way he sits, when he's sitting there, the way he's looking. And it feeds into the players. You got Jorginho refusing to shake people's hands after the game.
Yeah, that was silly. Like Lascelles didn't do. Like, for those that don't know,
Lascelles, man. I said Lascelles.
I think they're like a zip.
Yeah.
Wow. It's been a while, man. Lascelles came out today and said that he's disappointed that Jorginho, as captain of Arsenal for the day, didn't shake his hand after the game.
No,
shut up, bro. He's because he's the biggest shithouse merchant. I don't want to hear it.
But at the end of the day, like you play a game.
Yeah,
your team's been roughhoused a little bit. Like a handshake doesn't mean anything.
No, I hear that. So Jorginho is childish for not doing that. It didn't need a statement the day after. It didn't need to come out and talk about it. Because Lascelles are like, you've been playing for 2 minutes, bro. But by the time January comes out, you'll be back on the bench.
In his defense, he played pretty well the few games he's played.
Yeah.
I know you don't like him.
No, I don't like him. I just rate him. I don't
like him.
With Arteta,
I don't know him not to like him. He's not one of these.
I meant as a player, not as a person.
But you know some people, I don't like them because of how they move in the pitch.
In here, we're talking about nothing's personal in here. We're talking about the pitch.
There are players where I'll tell you I don't like them because of how they move on the pitch. Maybe they're a bit dirty or whatever. Right. So I don't have that problem with him. I just don't think he's very good. But that's it. But yeah, it didn't warrant a statement or coming out. I'm like, bruv.
Yeah, it's one of those things that you forget.
You cuss him about it. But Jorginho shouldn't have done that. That was just childish. That was silly. What do you think about Arteta's reaction?
Deflection.
Yeah.
Deflection tactics. I think he knows, as I said earlier, I think he knows this season he's got it a little bit wrong. And I think it goes back to the summer with one signing in particular that I don't even need to mention, but we all know who. And he ain't got the tools this year to achieve what he wants to achieve. And I think it's born out of frustration. And you can't go into the market, you can't do anything about it now. I think he's realised, we've got this little bit wrong now. And he's just throwing his toys out the pram.
Because he's pretty Addy made anyway, right? On the touchline, everything's a madness. Like, I watch him and I think, bro, I'd love to know how many calories he burns during the game, bro. He needs to get a Fitbit on or something, but...
Yeah, my only issue with the statement is that...
I'm talking about the press conference after when he said, I'm disgusted and all that stuff. It's just...
None of the incidents were black and white, innit? Like, if you could say VAR made an error when they categorically shouldn't have, I would understand what he was saying. But all the incidents were subjective, innit?
Yeah.
So you can't go on a rant like that without concrete evidence that they were in the wrong. And no one can say concretely that they were in the wrong. It's just, everything's subjective. You poll people, it's going to be 50-50.
Yeah.
So, I think it's a little bit...
I think it's a
miss.
top.
Yeah, it's a little bit of miss from him. Because what are you then going to say when, God forbid, something actually goes against you?
Well, we've had that. We've had that in the past, and the reaction was nothing like this. When it actually did go against us, the Brentford game,
we needed this energy,
and that was actually offside, and the man forgot to draw the lines. We never came out and done statements and all this kind of thing. It wasn't disgrace. We just took it as in, okay, it's something that happened, and that was a lot worse in terms of those points that we lost that day. We was in the middle of the title race.
Yeah.
This one, you're in October, November, you can get these points back. It's not definitive like it was last time when you was playing Man City in the title decider 3 days later.
Yeah, and it's come back to bite him a little bit because
Gone.
when he was asked about VAR previously, he was like, "Oh well, people make mistakes, etc." And then now he's like, "Oh, it's the worst, or it's the worst thing he's seen in 20 years being in the league." Blah
But
blah
do you
blah.
know what? I think this has started from that whole Liverpool thing.
Yeah.
I think they've opened the can of worms. I thought that their statement was wrong at the time. I wasn't on the pod, but I would have been saying that on the pod. I thought Liverpool were out of order and there was no need for that statement. And now you're just going to get clubs following on. Arsenal's is wrong. I think it's embarrassing. Just like I thought Liverpool's one was embarrassing, even though Arsenal one doesn't go as far as Liverpool's one went. But at the end of the day, officials are going to make mistakes. They're human. Are they the only people on the football pitch not allowed to make mistakes? Everyone else is. And the thing is, that didn't lose us the game. Whether they got it right or wrong, that didn't lose us the game. As I said, we had that 98 minutes and we had one shot on target.
Yeah, that's
So we should be looking at the things that we can control. We wasn't good enough. And I think that's where his frustration's coming from and why it comes out like that. And the club shouldn't back that up. Why is the club making statements about referees? Where's Imagine, say for instance, Liverpool were poor against Luton, almost lost. Imagine the PGMO come out and said, "Oh, we thought Liverpool were poor today." It doesn't make sense.
Well, not everything is two-way like that. I think for me, the club, Liverpool did kind of set pace with that. I think it just seems like, again, we don't know, but it just seems like there's a bit of, we've had enough type of vibes from clubs.
Yeah.
My issue is do that on something that is as clear and as black and white as the Liverpool thing.
Yeah.
Right? Not with things that, yes, there was 3 things in a short space of time. It was a bit crazy, etc. But to your point, there was nothing of that clear-cut level, right? There was nothing of that real super in my mind, super in injustice level. And I've said it in all the conversations I've had since with all that stuff. I want to talk about what we didn't do defending-wise. Do you understand? Because
that's what he should be.
That Liverpool
focusing
one,
on.
you could have no arguments with that. I'm sorry. That's why at the time I had no bad words for Liverpool after that.
No, I think Liverpool were in the wrong.
No, I remember you saying
Liverpool
but
totally in the wrong.
And I do think the officiating needs to improve, but this wasn't a hill for us to die on. And I just found a bit of Liverpool's statement was about the referees and the incident. Yeah. Starting off with, we're backing our manager's comments and all of that. That bit I was a little bit like, well, he didn't need the backing. Like, you didn't need to reinforce that bit, because actually behind closed doors, it should be a thing of, you need to calm down.
Yeah.
Like, genuinely, you know, there's a, and I think he's admitted it a couple of times. That, you know, Edu should be having a word, being like, listen, you need to get a bit more control because you're an example to the players, etc.
Yeah.
So we didn't need to reinforce that. If they want to have a view on the refereeing, I personally don't mind that, because I feel like, to your point, you're saying referees are not the only ones allowed to make comment on the pitch, but everybody else's mistakes are discussed, are scrutinised, are all of that. Referees shouldn't be exempt from that.
But people are not making public statements about other people's mistakes.
They
are Liverpool and Arsenal making these statements? Is that helping the situation? Or all that is that next week?
Okay.
All that doing is next week putting more pressure on the referee. That's all it's doing.
But what
are you achieving from it? That's what I want to know. What are they achieving from it? Things are not improving. What are they achieving?
But if you take the Liverpool incident in isolation, what happened after that? They made sure that people in VAR have clarity over the decisions that they make. So they're like, right, we think X, Y, Z has happened. Check. Can you confirm X, Y, Z happened?
Because
but
that's
not because of the statement, though.
Yeah.
That's because of what happened, and that's them internally doing it.
But without the statement, who's to say that would have happened?
Of course it would have happened.
No. Because Dad, before the Liverpool game, there were 14 apologies. 14.
This season?
Huh? It's like since VAR. So in 2.5 seasons, there've been 14 apologies. before Liverpool made their statement, was there any changes made to the VAR process?
Of course there would have been. You think that before the Liverpool statement, they were doing the VAR exactly the same as what they done the first time?
No, but they've come out publicly. We're like, if we don't know about it, it hasn't happened.
Why? But they're internal organisation. They're not going to let everybody. They're not going to do a press release every time they make a change.
No, but they should be going to the clubs and saying, right, if they've updated a process in the VAR system or whatever, the VAR process, the club should know what that process is. if something is referred to VAR, the club should know what the process is. So you're saying they might have updated it, but we don't know that. So as far as we're concerned, as far as Klopp was concerned, nothing has changed. Now we know that if an incident happens on the pitch, these steps have to be followed. So you say, there's no point in the statement. Well, there was, because everyone now knows.
I don't think changes come out.
I slightly disagree. I think, forget the statement. There was so much uproar about that incident, and the incident itself was so clear. Even if Liverpool hadn't said a word, all the narrative, all the commentary around the game, all the Monday night football. No. It gives it fire. But I genuinely believe...
For a black and white incident.
I genuinely believe that the weight of the error...
Yeah,
they
made a statement before Liverpool saying, this is egregious, this is wrong, human error. We're going to review our processes. So that's before Liverpool even said anything. So they're basically telling you that they're going to do it.
But I still think Liverpool making a statement forced their hands.
No, but they've already told you that's what we're going to do. They told you that it's error. We're going to go back.
This goes back to the whole Brentford incident, like with Arsenal.
You think they never changed things after that? After he forgot to draw the lines?
They've been transparent about it. Yeah, they've been transparent about it.
That's the thing, we don't know. But now we know, if you put pressure on them, things become more open and transparent, and then there's less contention for people to say the PGMO are not.
So you think things have improved then? In the last month or whatever, you think things have improved?
They haven't improved, but I don't think that's the fault of the clubs making statements.
Yeah, it hasn't improved, but processes have changed. And if that's a step in the right direction, you got to take it.
And I've been saying referee's been not great for a while now. I think VAR's just shone a bit of a light on that. And I don't know, I've always said I'm not a big fan of, as a manager, as a player, you can literally come out and say whatever you want about anybody apart from the refs, right? And I've always felt like that. I don't think it's right
protected.
Why referees and their performances are so protected. Don't get me wrong, you shouldn't question anyone's integrity. But if you think the referees have a poor game, you should be able to say, is that a poor game? I don't see why there's such a protected species. I don't know why everything does this. And I hear this on podcasts and commentary after, leave the refs alone, blah, blah, blah. Listen, we can't have it both ways. The flip side to that is, and I think this is true, is they need to look at raising the standards for referees, but they also need to look a little bit at the remuneration. And you might say, well, what does the money matter? Well, I think if we're going to have people refereeing the most important games in the professional game in this country, and one of the top leagues in the game, full stop, that should probably be reflected in what they're paid. But that also then goes into the level expected, etc. If I'm going to be in the center of scrutiny for those biggest games, it needs to be reflected in my standing and in that way. But I do think that you shouldn't be allowed to. I couldn't call another manager a cheat or say he's done whatever to the game, so I shouldn't be able to say that by the ref. But you should be able to question their quality, their performance, how they referee that day. You should be able to do that.
I think you should be able to do that, but in the right channels. So even when you're making statements, I don't think it needs to go public. I think you can make that statement to the FA or to the PGMO directly.
Oh, sorry. I was talking about post-match. Like in the interview, managers, they get fined. Sorry, I was talking about that. Sorry.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
But I don't see why you need to come out publicly and criticise or analyse a referee's performance when you can do.
That's a good point,
on the Sunday league, you get scorecards and stuff like that. But take it up to the next level, the top level, they actually do reports that the clubs will do a report on the referee and send it through to the PGMO.
That's a good point.
So they don't need to come out and make a statement. The only people that need to know about it is the FA and the PGMO. Why do you need to go public?
No, that is a fair point.
That's a fair point.
But you got to look at the game isn't played behind closed doors, isn't it? Like, it's not just for the club's understanding; it's for the fans' understanding as well.
I've just clocked something. Go ahead, sorry.
I'm saying it's for the fans' understanding as well. Like, as a fan, I'd want to know why that process has not been followed.
Most fans don't even know the rules of the game. Let alone talking about how can they analyse referees' performance when they don't even know the rules.
Who does know the rules?
You don't know the rules, man.
We don't even know the rules.
We don't know the rules, bro.
Yeah, I'd be up for referees giving statements after the game.
Bro, I want referees to do post-match interviews.
Yeah, I was about to say that.
I think that would be good.
Even if it was like an hour after the game and they could speak to the PGMOL before they have that, so they can come with a collective understanding of what they're going to say, but they'd be like, right, you've got 15 minutes or with XY journalists, and this is what you're going to say.
I think a lot of referees would actually want to do it as well, but they're saying that, they're saying they want to do it.
I'll tell you what. The other thing about it is, it's like any job, right? You need the right personalities. And even in football teams, there's some people you put in front of the camera, there's some people you will not put in front of the camera. And there's probably, like Howard Webb, if he was still refereeing today, that's the guy you would put in front of the camera after the game, right?
Mike Dean.
Yeah. Oh, gosh. Yeah.
He loves the camera now, doesn't he?
But when you were talking about, when I was saying, I just realised something. Do you think, it's a little bit of a, I don't want to call it cynical, but from the club's point of view, it's almost putting out the statement, keeps me on side with the fans. It shows the fans that I'm trying to do something about this. Because actually, to Daz's point, I can make that same statement strongly behind closed doors and then get the outcome. It's a fair challenge. Yeah. And then maybe, after I've done that a few times, and this could be the counter argument, Arsenal could say, no, we've done that behind the scenes thing a few times. So
but
now...
Had visits, didn't it? Remember, what's his name? Howard Webb has gone to... He went to Arsenal last season. He went to a couple other clubs. So it's not like it's new. It could be like an end of the tether thing. Like, I know it wasn't with Liverpool. Liverpool like, this is too blatant. We got to say something. But with Arteta, he's been visited by Howard Webb a couple of times. He might just be like, you know what? Let me...
Yeah, no, that's a fair challenge.
That behind the closed doors, some decisions are going to go against you. It's just the way of the world. Like, they're not perfect. I'm sorry. I don't think people realise how hard it is to referee a football game. Even at low level, I've done that same program. Imagine refereeing a Premier League game, 60,000 people in that stadium.
But we're not even talking about the ref here. We're talking about VAR.
Yeah.
So
so in this scenario, like,
but the VAR is a ref.
No, I guess people find it hard to accept when it was a ref and two linesmen. That was one thing.
Everyone accepted it. It seemed like it was accepted.
To a degree.
Yeah. I do think it is funny that we didn't have it then.
Yeah.
Now we've added VAR. Everyone's like, no, take it away. We want it back. But you were clapping.
But the thing is,
calling for it when it wasn't.
If you took away VAR, all the decisions that are wrong, they would have been wrong. Liverpool's goal would have been offside because that's what the linesman gave.
Yeah.
No one said a word about the linesman, but he was the one who got the decision wrong in the first place. Yeah. I didn't hear anyone. We heard all about the VAR, but we didn't hear nothing about the linesman who got the decision wrong in the first place. And then the goal had been disallowed. Arsenal's one the other day. It would have been a goal. No VAR, it would have been a goal. No one said nothing.
Yeah.
But the thing is, with the VAR, it's not. I think everyone got to say, we're bringing in VAR. It's going to be 100% right all the time.
So maybe the VAR decisions need to be released within an hour of the game ending as well. So we didn't give VAR because of X, Y.
Yeah.
Instead of just saying it wasn't clear and obvious, you got to be like, we didn't do it because of blah, blah, blah.
And then maybe there's, over time, it becomes a bit of an education piece because I'm not going to lie. Through VAR, a lot of people have probably learned stuff about the rules that they didn't know.
Yeah. But it's the thing that it's not going to ever stop. That's the thing.
It can get better though.
It can get better.
Yeah.
But it's not
it
ever
can get a lot
stop.
better.
It's going to be, there's still going to be wrong decisions.
Yeah. The consistency in it. That's
that's my point though. So there's a difference between, I didn't give this decision because it wasn't clear. So you think it's wrong, I think it's right. Two, the ones that everybody can see it was wrong. And in hindsight, they've even said it was wrong. I think when you start correcting those and minimizing those occurrences, the contentious ones, people are like, this is the bit of the game I like, blah, blah, blah. When those very black and white ones, Liverpool, and other things are happening, then it's easy to add them onto the pile of the contentious ones. It's easy to just add it on together because you're not happy. So I do think, for me, where the room for improvement is, I don't care how many, unless you start having cameras on every meter of the pitch, I don't think you solve most of the problems at the Arsenal game on Saturday, no matter how many VAR you have. But when you count it up with all the other incidents we've had, and a lot of them are pretty clear-cut, that's the issue. So I think if VAR starts eliminating the occurrences of those clear-cut ones, then that's the issue. Before we go to the next game, Spurs are taking a bit of a hit, aren't they? As it stands, as we're recording, it's 90 plus 10 minutes. So they're playing 100 minutes. It's Chelsea 4, Tottenham 1, Nicholas Jackson hat-trick.
Bomba.
How is that
They are playing 9
redemption.
men.
They
They
got
are
9
playing
men.
9 men.
Doesn't matter.
They got 9
And
men.
I don't know why they're playing 9 men with a high line or the halfway line. It's a bit crazy.
Oh, you look, you got sent off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Second half.
Oh,
Did
2
you get
yellows.
I hope he's on my bench, you know. I hope he's on my fantasy
Those
bench.
fantasy.
So yeah, it's a bit of a redemption out there. We'll talk about that in a second. So yeah, I think that rumble on. I'll be surprised if Arteta doesn't face any charges.
He deserves them.
He does. Can you bring a club into? Can you give a club into disrepute?
I
Can
think
you
the
do that?
club will be alright because they
No, but
didn't.
is there rules that allow them to do that? So the same way a manager can be in
Yeah,
disrepute, you can do that for a club.
Yeah, I
innit?
would have. No, they can find them, innit? Yeah, they can
Yeah.
find the club.
So, well, but then it'd be problems because you didn't find Liverpool.
And they didn't use words that Arteta used.
Yeah,
They
that's
just
the
said,
disgrace.
we back
Yeah.
it, but you didn't actually say what.
Yeah, fair. So let's see what the fallout of that is. Arsenal's first loss for the season.
Apparently, that statement went through all the lawyers and that before it went out. Yeah,
Yeah, generally does.
Definitely.
Generally does.
That leaves Arsenal fourth, tied on points with Liverpool, Newcastle now 6, sort of 4 points off the top 4. So good win for them. I mean that means Newcastle last 5 games, last 6 games, 3 wins, 2 draws. So
Not bad.
on a decent little run. All right, Manchester City. Oh, the docu show. Final score here was just now Manchester City 6, Bournemouth 1. I mean, I predicted a bit of a drubbing, and you know, in the past, Man City sometimes the games you think they're gonna,
Yeah, they
go
might
crazy,
falter a little
cricket
bit.
score type vibes. They win 2-1, something like a Sheffield United or whatever. But no, this time it was pretty emphatic. Took them 30 minutes to score, so Bournemouth were holding themselves. But then Jeremy Duque decided to really announce himself in the Premier League. I think there were 4 or 5 goal involvements in this one game.
For Doku?
Yeah.
5.
5 goal
Did
involvements.
4 assists and 1 goal.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, I would argue 2 goals, but that one came off a Kanji.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just, what can we say?
So I watched it, and him and Silva were just like, we're going to turn up today.
Yeah.
And there was nothing Bournemouth could do.
Yeah.
If Bournemouth had another man on the pitch, they would have been like, we don't care. Like it was, I know you said it took them to half an hour to score, but they were just camped in the Bournemouth half for like the whole of the first half. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, 66% possession versus 35. They made just under double the amount of passes that Bournemouth made. Pass accuracy was 93%. It was crazy. They had 21 shots. 8 on target, but they had 21 shots. Bournemouth had 5.
It's weird. So, like Haaland came off half time, but it was like a Man City performance of 2 seasons ago.
Yeah. I see what you mean.
Where they were just
fluid.
Just like everything was working,
Yeah.
clicking. Like you say, they have no result when they just steamroll a team. And it was just like, yeah, it was like watching City of old.
Yeah.
With Haaland. And it's weird because he wasn't too involved in the first half. Like we know now, he was a bit injured. But yeah, it was just easy for them, man. Like Bournemouth didn't really come and like put up a fight. It was just odd. But yeah, Doku, man, like he got the ball rolling with the first goal. I don't know if you've seen the assist he done for Silva.
Yeah.
Where it was just, I don't want to say Messi-esque, but it was like tight foot, like control of the ball, pulled it back.
Man, that was bad. That was bad. When this guy in and out,
Yeah,
the defender was all over the
And
gap.
like we kind of bigged him up a couple episodes ago, I think it was. It might have
we'll
been
talk
last week.
we'll talk about the direct wingers.
Yeah,
etc.
the direct wingers. Like, yeah, Jack.
He's taking his place. In what? Within 10 games, he's taking his place.
Yeah, and I think I said it that day. He had Mahrez there, who was that direct. Would take on the fullback and have the quality and product. He sort of got that element back now in his team. But you know what? We've seen Pep do this before. I said to someone on the weekend, I said, look, we've seen Pep sit down players for a whole season before.
Mm.
Then the next season they're back in vogue and they play again. Bernardo Silva's had that. He's had, even this whole time he's there, he's had one season where he plays every week, one season where he doesn't play. Next season, Phil Foden's had it already and he's 22 or something stupid. So I don't think this is necessarily the end for Jack, but it's definitely going to be a shock because last season, I saw an interview he gave someone a couple of weeks ago, I want to say, and they were asking him, like, you know, when he first came in, he felt like he had to get used to it, but when do you feel like Pep trusted you? And he was like, well, there was a period last season where, I can't remember what game it was, said he played rubbish, but then Pep kept picking him for all the big games. Arsenal, bang, 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 bang. So he was like, all right, cool, trust me. And then that helped him play better. And I guess, if we make it less about Grealish and more about Doku, he's playing well. How can I drop you for Jack, basically?
Yeah.
So
it's interesting for Grealish as well because he's never really had anyone really challenge him for a position in it. Like when he was at Villa, he was like the main guy. I know his first season at City, he did have Mahrez and a few, but he was like, well, I'm the £100 million guy in it. Like he was still getting
a play at some point.
Yeah, like he hasn't had someone like Doku's come in, hit the ground running, and putting in like top performances.
I think Sterling still there at that point when he first came the first season.
But Sterling kind of got bombed out, didn't he? And like, it's going to be hard to not play Doku in the big games, man, because he showed that he can just attack. If your fullback is not on job, it's a long afternoon, man. Yeah. It's a long afternoon for them.
Yeah, when we play them again.
And that assist for, was it Bernardo's second goal?
Yeah.
Lovely ball. And that what a finish that was as well, actually.
Yeah.
Over the goalie.
He's got a bit of everything. Balance, touch, got a pass. That the way for his first goal, the way he fizzed the ball into Roger, I think it was, around the corner. He just seems to have a little bit of everything. Obviously, decision making probably wants an extra level of consistency with the decision making and the finishing. There's probably areas you can pick out, but for someone who's new to the league and all that good stuff, yes, there were people that will say, when you play at City, it's easier. But as we've shown, it's not because the standard is higher.
Yeah.
It's not easier. There's a lot of ways where it's not easier. But
and he goes both ways and uses both feet. A couple of goals with his left foot. Like, he's a good player.
Exciting player, man. Good to see. And it'll be good to see how he grows for the international team as well. This is now another Belgian player who can excite. He can just as Hazard retires. We've got another one that could do good things. Let's see if he plays in the Champions League and he carries that on.
Yeah. Be interesting next week when City play or City go to Stamford Bridge.
Yeah.
So this result tonight for Chelsea might be a. Cause we remember we looked at their fixtures and we were like, they might not beat Tottenham. Yeah. They might not beat Man City.
Yeah.
Like this could be a good game next week. Hopefully,
most definitely.
Tottenham might fall off now. Talking
about there's injuries.
Well, they've just lost their whole back four in one match.
Yeah, that's that. Let's see now. And I said this, didn't I? I did say that they won't be there. They won't be thereabouts. It's early doors. They haven't got the squad depth to deal with it.
Yeah,
did say. So let's see. Liverpool.
Phew.
Talk to them. 1-1, and you just made it towards the end. I didn't see this game, but I heard a lot about it.
So we were dominant on the ball as I expected us to be. Our front line just wasn't on it. Like if Isaac was here today, he'd be on.
Darwin.
He'd be on. I'll get there.
Hey.
If Isaac was there, he'd be on Salah's case. In terms of Jota, didn't really do much to kind of stake his claim for starting more games regularly. Yeah. Darwin, he's a hot and cold guy, innit? Like
it's what you get with him.
Unfortunately, it was a cold day yesterday. He had a chance in the first half. Did you watch it?
Yeah.
So he had a chance in the first half.
Didn't hit the
where
bar.
The ball broke to him and he hit the bar. Like I thought it was a good chance. Like it wasn't fashionable.
It wasn't easy. Yeah, it wasn't
easy. Like Isaac was saying that he should have buried it.
No, it wasn't easy.
Right, it wasn't easy. Hit the crossbar. Fair enough. And then the chance in the second half when it's 0-0 and he fires over from close range.
Well, that's unforgivable.
But everyone's kind of excluding Salah's role in this. So,
but Salah's chance, Salah's chance weren't easy, but he messed it up.
Salah's chance, it was a free header.
Yeah, but he messed it up. But it's gone straight to my man to score. So it's
But that's not what he wanted.
That's why you get excuse.
No. But that's not what he wanted to do.
No, but
he wanted to score.
But the fact that it goes to him then lets him off the leash. It does.
Okay, so why can you excuse Salah but not excuse Darwin?
Because it's gone to him to score.
But it went
even though he never met him, even though he didn't mean it.
It went to Salah to score first. So Salah should have scored.
That one easy. It's not like Darwin's though. It's not like Darwin's.
It was a free header. You're
his one was an open goal. The goal is not even there though.
The keeper. Huh? All he had to do was get it on target and
he had
scored.
to beat the keeper still.
Nunes
didn't even have to beat the keeper. It's an open goal.
Granted, but Salah before the ball got to Darwin, Salah should have scored. I think people need to realise that. Let's not negate that fact. Granted, the ball falls to Darwin. He should have scored.
Yeah.
He was lucky it was flagged offside. But
yeah, it wasn't actually offside.
It wasn't offside.
Yeah,
if he scored...
It was Salah that was flagged offside, didn't it?
Yeah, but if Darwin had put the ball in the net, the goal would have been given because Salah wasn't offside. So I know everyone kind of gets on his case, but every striker has big misses.
Yeah, but he has a lot.
He just has a lot. But you got to flip it and be like, he's getting in the right places. He's not shirking. Like, you see strikers who will have a bad game, have certain misses, and then hide. They shrink.
With him, you just got to take the rough with the smooth.
Yeah, and that's one thing I like about him. He never shrinks in a game. Especially this season. Like, I think he's playing with a little bit more freedom. I think when he came in last season, he had the price tag playing on his head. There was those stupid Haaland comparisons, like who's going to do better, etc. Well, I think now he's just playing ball. And you're going to get, like I said, you're going to get games where he's going to be good, you're going to be bad. Like the game against Bournemouth in midweek in the League Cup. Ball comes over, no one around him.
Terrible touch.
Miscontrolled it.
Yeah.
Less than 10 seconds later, he slapped a world in the top corner. And
that's him in a nutshell.
That's what you're going to get with Darwin.
That's him in a nutshell.
And his goal and assist ratio this season is good. I think it's 15 goals and assists so far this season. I'm not too stressed about it.
What do you think about the midfield, though? Well, was you happy with the midfield performance?
Yeah, again, we dominated the ball. Like, Gravenberch, again, played well.
McAllister?
So McAllister had a good game, but again, it's like, it's weird. So he's in a sixth position, but in this type of game, your six isn't really needed. So you needed him a little bit more forward because he's not really, you're not going to be as defensive as what you were if you're playing like an Arsenal, Man City, etc. So could have got a little bit more from him going forward. For all I've been bigging up Szoboszlai, this was his worst game for us. So far.
It was sort of non-existent.
Yeah, pretty much. And he got hooked, rightly so. And then, it was just and the thing is, like, before Luton scored, you could see it coming. It's one of those games, you're watching it and you're like, Luton are going to score. And we tried to get a handball shout, which was never handball.
Yeah.
Right, they broke. It was a good goal by them. Like, can't really fault their effort. And we were lucky there was 8 minutes of injury time being played.
Yeah.
I didn't think there should have been that much.
No, I didn't think so either. Watching it, I didn't think there should be that many.
We got the benefit of it. And Elliot, who's been really good when he comes off the bench. I think with Elliot, he just needs to give you 90 minutes.
Yeah.
Like, he'll give you a good half an hour, a good 45 minutes. I guess if he can start giving a good 90 minutes, he'll go far. And it was him who put the cross in for Diaz, which was kind of fitting, considering all that's happened with him in his personal life, etc. So,
and even it coming off his shoulder, it was just destined, didn't it?
Yeah,
like it didn't matter. He needed a goal. That was the story that needed to happen that day.
So if we had lost this game, I would have been really upset just because of how well we played coming into the match.
So you're happy with the draw then?
I think based on other results of the weekend, you got to take it. Like, I'm not happy. Going to Luton, who haven't played well, just come up. We should have gone there and come away with 3 points. Like I said, I think 2 or 3 episodes ago, going into the Man City game, we got to get maximum points. Like, we should be 12 for 12. So I think at the minute we're 10 out of 12.
How do you feel big picture with Liverpool now? We've got a sample size. Now I think we can start to analyse teams. We've seen 10, 11 games. Big picture, where do you see Liverpool this season, or what should their aspirations be? League for the Premier League?
At a minimum, top 4. At a minimum, I think if we can just stop giving up silly chances. And I don't think that's just a defensive thing. That's like, what's that look for?
Top 4. That's it. That's your expectations.
I haven't finished. If we can stop giving up silly chances to the opposition, then I think we can be in a challenge. Because right now, we're 3 points off top. We've gone away to Tottenham, Chelsea, and Newcastle, which isn't bad. And we're in the mix. Like, it's the start of November. Last year, we were well off the pace at this point last year. Like, I think if we can cut out the errors, stop giving chances to the opposition team. Like, everyone gives up chances, but our chances, we give up a proper, like, sloppy and lazy. Cut that out, I think we could be in the title mix.
I think Liverpool should be in the title.
I was going to say, you gave him an easy out of the question. The question is, are you going to be in the title race this season? Yes or no question? Yes or no answer?
Yes.
Thanks.
You should be, yeah. Yeah, you're right, yeah. You should definitely be.
That's fair enough. I don't think you will be, only because, to your point, I think there are enough teams now that can punish that sort of that defensive, slackness and
But I don't think it's collectively just a defense. I think it's errors in the team. So like,
I agree. It's not your defenders,
short
but it's
passes
defensive
in the midfield where we get hit on the counter, etc. But yeah, like looking at the other teams, I'd say, like, if you say Arsenal in the mix, which you would say you are, I don't see why you wouldn't say Liverpool
I don't
in the mix.
see how there can be a title race this year without Liverpool. Because...
But I was going to say, forget the other teams. Right, let's be honest here. Right now, title races, who's going to push Man City to the furthest?
That's what I'm saying. I think it's only going to be Liverpool.
Forget Spurs.
That's what I'm saying. If Liverpool ain't doing it, I don't think anyone's doing it. I think Man City's ran away with it then.
Are you going to be... I don't quite think... I'm not with you. Don't think we're quite out of it yet, but are you going to be one of the teams that pushes Liverpool as far as they can?
Man City.
I guess... pushes Man City as
far
far
as they can. So you're saying
come
like the start of April, we're still in...
Yeah.
I think we can be.
Let's be honest, that's what the Prem has become.
Yeah.
Right? Who's keeping pace with Man City?
Yeah.
What happened last season was an anomaly in terms of...
The team that we're competing with them.
No, don't try it. It was how. So you do so well before Christmas that actually you kind of got a lead and they're chasing, etc. But it was still who's pushed Man City the furthest. It wasn't like there was anybody else that, was sort of in the mix. So I guess to your point about defense, I think there's so many teams now, as you talked about for a different conversation, but the standard in the Prem has gone up. If you're not on ball enough across those 38
you're
games,
going to be punished.
Yeah, you'll get punished. I think that's the only reason. I think you're going back in the right direction, and I think next season, and I think I said it before the start, I think next season's going to be very, very interesting because Chelsea will be a cycle ahead, Tottenham will be a cycle ahead, etc. But I don't know, man. I mean, yeah, you're right. I think as it stands, Arsenal need to fix up, and it's Liverpool, I think, that are going to give Man City any sort of challenge. And right now, today, as it stands, Liverpool are the first candidate for that.
I think Liverpool come above Arsenal this season.
Yeah, if we beat Brentford next week, and then maybe Chelsea get a result against City, we go into international break level on points with City, which isn't bad going into the second international break or third.
Wait, say that second part of that equation again. Who against City?
Chelsea.
Come on. Yeah, it's happening.
You never know, man. Like, wishful thinking.
Duku against Gusto.
Problem. No, James is back.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
That's true.
Yeah. But to be fair, even being within 3 points of City going into like critical times of the year, that's not bad. Like, people are going to drop off. Like, I've got more faith in Arsenal beating City at Arsenal this season. I know you have. That's my point. Like, teams like, I don't think Man City are going to go to most of the big teams.
That feels like so long ago. I remember last season, Man City didn't do well away against the top 9 and they still killed the league. So that stuff doesn't matter as much for them. And I think that's where they've been really good, as in they've won all the games they should have won.
Yeah. Standard.
And then the games where you're like, it's against tough teams, etc. More often than not, they're the big games. Yeah, you're not going to win all of them. It is against your rivals.
Yeah.
But where everyone else falls apart is you'll go to Luton and draw 1-1. City don't do that. Do you know what I mean? you'll go away to Newcastle and lose.
Yeah.
City don't do that.
Exactly.
More often than not, they get that done. And that's
the difference.
That's the difference. That's the real difference.
City will have maybe one of them results a season.
Yeah.
And
Maybe
they've already had
two.
it. They
They've had
lost.
two
They
already.
lost the Wolves.
Yeah.
They lost. No, but losing to Arsenal is not one of them results. They lost to
Carry on.
Wolves.
Carry on.
Nah,
Because Alex's not here, you're gonna be
it's
missing.
all, it's all jokes. No, but yeah, like we're in the mix. Like
Mm.
I'm not too.
Is that the
disheartened
first game after international break? Liverpool City.
Yeah,
And it's 12:30 on the Saturday.
12:30
yeah.
on Saturday at City. Ugh.
They're doing something. They're- like when Klopp moves about stuff, I'm not with him. But on this one, I might have to say, to be fair,
Can we just touch on Newcastle? Like they've been on TV bare, bruv. They've played 11 games and 8 of them have been on TV.
yeah, you know why though?
Like,
Yeah,
yeah,
the
That's a big
Saudis.
market for the. That's a big market for the Prem.
You notice when their games are on?
yeah,
What time?
5:30,
5:30. And
Good
what
prime time.
prime time for Saudi?
It's like half.
Yeah, it's like half 8. It's like half 8, yeah. Prime time. They're always the
But
Saturdays.
it's so obvious. Like I guess
Saturday
that's
night
what
slot.
annoys me. It's so obvious.
It's good
But they'll be
business,
like,
man.
oh, it's just a scheduling.
It's good business, man. But we can't have it. We can't have it both ways. Like, it's because of that stuff that your owners and my owners can go and raise money in the markets. I can pay players 300 grand. Bruv, we can't. If we don't want all that stuff and we want to go back to back in the day and the pitches were shot there, I don't mind. But bruv,
Yeah, I get it. but
everyone
it's,
wants the juice
Yeah.
to sell it. Something that's got to stop. Bruv, it doesn't work like that, bruv.
They're
It
on
doesn't work like that.
half 5 next Saturday as well, man.
Are they?
Yeah.
Nah, he's right, you know.
Yeah.
It's half 5
Half
every
5
Saturday
Saturday.
every
Yeah,
week.
I like it. Straight out of business school, man. Straight out of business school.
Yeah, they just
Alright.
they see them figures in it, the viewing
Yeah,
figures
exactly.
and whatever, and they're like, yeah.
And as much as everyone made uproar, this is a new TV rights auction soon. I think you were talking about the package a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
You're gonna have a pretty big bidder now for international rights. Not that they weren't big already.
yeah.
So, and then obviously with the Americans here, bruv,
Yeah.
it's all, come on, man. It's all business. And I always find it, and it could be simplistic for me, and it's probably a separate topic to have a convo about. I always find it really interesting. All of these journalists getting on their high horse, right? So, we read, I don't know about you, but we read The Athletic and all this. They get on their high horse. And I'm like, but hold on. If the game hadn't blown up the way it blew up, we wouldn't have we would still have the same 6 man that used to get together on a Sunday on Sky.
Yeah.
It would just be those tabloid newspapers. We wouldn't have,
To be fair, the Athletic is a byproduct of how big. I know they don't just focus on football, but it's a byproduct of the way the kind of industry has
100%, bro.
Yeah.
100%. The podcasts, all of that, the empires that people have built, like off the back of that football explosion, is all from the same machine that has attracted these kind of owners.
Yeah.
So I just this moral hypocrisy, it does my head in. It's like it's good
Yeah.
up until a point when it's not good.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, hold on. I didn't hear all of this noise or as much noise when it was Roman investing, and there's things you could have said there.
Yeah.
We've the great. I just find this country, the way everyone gets on their moral high ground when it
Even
doesn't
Sir Jim,
suit.
everyone's like, it'll be really good for Man United. Okay, why are certain other owners not good for Man United?
And they call it sports washing, etc. That's fine. So when it was the World Cup, don't go. If you feel that strongly about it, you don't take the money. Take unpaid leave or whatever. Don't go.
It'd be interesting with Qatar getting the
Saudi, you mean?
Saudi.
Yeah.
Had Qatar in it.
Well, they will all be there.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
They will all
everyone will
complain
be.
from there. They will all be there.
That's another winter one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't mind it. I thought it was good. I didn't mind it.
Yeah, like for all the fallout beforehand, it was a really good tournament.
Yeah,
you know what I
bro.
mean? So
And the other thing is as well, Daz, it's like, again, you want the game to grow. They talk about the time, you want the game to grow, you want more people playing football, it's great, blah, blah, blah. Okay. So now we need to do things to suit all the new people that are into football. It's
Yeah.
uproar. Brother, the Summer World Cup isn't going to work for everybody. It's just not going to.
yeah.
True.
It's not possible. It is not possible. Unless we keep it very European focused. What was the World Cup that was in South America? And they were complaining about the high altitude. Do you remember? What tournament was played in South America?
Last one was Brazil. That was 14,
Yeah.
2014 was
Yeah.
Brazil.
And I remember there were certain places, and you know Brazil's so massive, you had to fly 6 hours to a game. We're complaining about high altitude. I'm just like, guys, please. Like, it can't just be Europe. Yeah, it can't just be Europe all day, every day. So I'm not here for it. Everyone made it work. Everyone was crying. All of this. It came and it went. They said there were going to be more injuries, blah, blah, blah. What happened? Nothing. So as usual, because it wasn't Europe's idea, or it's not in line with what we normally do here, everyone wanted to cry about it. Oh, get out of here, man. Everyone will be there in Saudi. They'll all be taking their paycheck, and they'll all be complaining about the country whilst in Saudi, whilst collecting their money. That's what they'll all do. It's as simple as that. Anyway,
100.
let me get off my soapbox now. Brentford. They're on a march, man. They're on a bit of a march. West Ham, another loss. But it wasn't clear cut. It seemed like I didn't get much of this game.
This was a good game.
Yeah.
It was a good game.
I think when West Ham went 2-1 up, you kind of expect them to see it out.
Yeah.
And then your boy Antonio, who we mentioned last week, I can't remember who it is that plays the ball across the box, but it's basically someone played it across the box. And I think Antonio and Morpay are going for it.
No, it's Ben Rama.
That's it, Ben Rama.
Morpay plays for Brentford, bro.
Brentford. Oh, yeah. At the other end of the picture.
You can't have Antonio and Morpay. No, mad.
I've had one there.
What kind of transfer strategy is that? Hey.
Yeah, Antonio should have left it for Ben Rama. But as a striker...
Did he know he was there?
As a striker, you got to go for it though, innit? Like, but if you go for it, you got to put it in the net.
Listen, this is not Sunday League football. This is the Premiership. You hear a call, but I think they didn't. I
don't think he knew he was there.
Well, maybe. Also, bro, you see where he's already locked into the move. You're not stopping that train. Yeah? So I've seen the replay a few times. I'm sure from when he started sliding in for that ball, it was finished. So you're right. Rama should have probably made his presence known. But forget the fact that he took the ball off Benrahma's foot. How did he miss from there?
Yeah, he should have scored. He should have scored. Yeah, he should have scored.
So Benrahma's probably steaming because you should have scored that. Forget taking off me.
And I said strikers miss big chances.
You should have scored. You should have scored. But
yeah, Kuda scored a good opener.
Oh, great goal.
Yeah, good goal.
Great finish.
No, Morpay scored first.
What, did he? Brilliant. What's happening?
All right. Let's
Morpay scored.
Morpay scored first. And I'm not going to lie. I've been giving him stick. I think that was his first goal in 13, 14 months. But he even admitted it. He said he didn't know what to do when he scored. He said it'd been so long, he forgot to celebrate.
He nearly missed as well. It was literally on the goal line. And it wasn't even a good finish.
You know who he reminds me of? What was the name of that? There was a Sheffield United striker. I think he ended up marrying or he was Karen Brady's partner one time. What is his name?
Oh, you're talking about Paul Pochettino.
Yeah.
And
he was another one. Bruv, that guy was a striker, was getting moves. He never scored any goal. Morpay is a modern day Paul, whatever his surname is, bruv. That's what he reminds me of. He just keeps getting these moves. But then, Kuda scores.
West Ham's opener. There you go.
Yeah, West Ham's opener. Better. You're back. Yeah. Good goal.
It was.
Yeah.
I mean, we called it.
Great
What is
finish.
it? If you want any more tactical, consultancy, we did say it. Get Kudus in the team, have a bit more creativity, etc. Since we did that pod, he's been doing it.
How are they playing it then? So where's Bowen playing then? If Kudus is playing on the right, where's Bowen?
Nah, but Kudus doesn't really play on the right. When I've watched it, he ends up in the centre a lot. He ends up in the centre a lot, does a lot of that. To be honest, and I never thought I'd say this about someone playing in David Moyes' team. It's almost like he's got a bit of a free role. Because every time I've seen him cause, even against us, right, where he was causing problems, he was kind of central, just outside the box, picking up the ball, like in those, in those pockets.
Like a 10 floating.
Yeah.
So Bowen's still on the right.
Yeah, he's still out wide.
Got Antonio up top.
Yeah. So Bowen's still out, still wide. Benrahma doing his damage out there. So I'm not gonna lie, it's looking good. And then an old Arsenal boy scores an own goal. Do you remember him?
That was poor. Was it the Greek guy?
Yeah,
that was poor.
He was like one of those like deadline day signings for you, weren't he?
Something like that.
I think he was some sort of like wonder kid he come to us as, and he never really played.
No, it was like I think it was one of those ones where it was a relatively cheap sign. I think we signed him for like $1 million, something mad, but he was meant to be high potential. So it's one of those ones where if it doesn't work out, it kind of is what it is. And he went on a couple of loans. And then I just saw that he'd been transferred out, and I thought, wow, okay, fair enough. I didn't think West Ham needed him, but there you go. I don't know why is Zuma injured, because it was Aguerd and Mavropanos at the back. Scored an own goal. He got booked. He had a hell of a day, mate.
Yeah, it wasn't good.
And then, so they go 2-1 up. Own goal brings it back to 3-2. And then Nathan Collins, 69 minute. So, yeah, Brentford march on. I mean, every week I say it, but I used to say, you never know what Brentford you're going to get. So they're either going to come and win emphatically, or they're going to lose. This is almost now it's, no, we still win games that are close.
Yeah.
We'll force things. Own goal's fortunate, but you make your own luck, and then it gives you the bite to get in front. Is he working wonders again? I mean, we are what? We're 11 games in, 4 wins, 4 draws, 3 losses, but 16 points. They are what?
It's not bad, to be honest.
They're 8 points off the top 4. Fine, top 4 is not their aim. But if you think about their pack, they're 4 points behind Newcastle, and 2 points behind Man United and Brighton. So they're keeping pace. 3 wins in a row. I think they're on the right track. But again, for all of Chelsea's ills, they're only 1 point behind Brentford now after today. The tables, the Premier League's so
deceptive,
tight.
innit? Like,
it's just crazy.
This early, a couple wins, like you
it.
say, and anything can happen.
And that's it. And then I think whilst they weren't on the lineup, I think it's also encouraging for Brentford. You've got different scorers again in that game, More pay. I mean, he probably won't score again for another 6 months. But got more pay. Collins, every week it seemed like it was Mbeumo, Wissa, and Mbeumo.
Yeah.
So again, pretty good. West Ham, I mean, they are, where are they now? 12th. Lost 3 games on the bounce. They've lost 5 games already. 1-4, drawn 2, lost 5. I don't think it's panic stations, and they had a pretty poor season last year. They were battling relegation, weren't they? So
they've been lucky, like you say, not drawing many. Like they're winning or losing, innit?
Yeah, which
and
is
that gives you the point. Like they got 14 points. If they win their next game, they could go up to 9th. So
all else being equal. Yeah.
So
no alarm bells ringing.
No, mid-table. That's where I'd expect them to be.
Yeah.
I think teams like West Ham, Brentford. I'm going to put Brighton in there.
Yeah.
Crystal Palace.
Yeah.
Yes.
They're going to give you ups and downs, innit? They're going to win a couple games and then
lose one. Yeah,
lose one, maybe lose a couple, but then get back on track.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, just to touch on Palace, quickly. I know I didn't put them in the main read up, but 2-0 win at Burnley. I made a prediction before the game that they would probably win, but I expected a bit more out of Burnley.
Yeah, I didn't see this, but apparently Palace were quite fortunate to win this game.
Yes,
from what I've been told.
Yeah,
same. But you look at the table, and you start saying, Mr. Company, this is 1 win, 1 draw, 9 losses. They got 4 points. And we made a lot of jokes about Sheffield United's 1 point. I mean, how safe is he? How genuinely?
No, I think that's exactly where I expect them to be.
Yeah, I'm the same, to be honest.
Yeah.
I expected more from them visually. Like, their first game against Manchester City, they looked pretty good. Even though they lost, I think it was 3-0 in the end, but they look quite expansive. It seems like they've regressed a little bit, and because you can only base it on what you saw last year, innit? Like, and everyone said the Championship's a tough league and whatnot, but it's a big step up coming to the Premier League, innit?
It's huge.
And I think if you look at Cooper last year, I think he started off the season with Nottingham Forest a certain way, and he was like, you know what, this ain't working. So he changed his style of play a little bit. I think Company needs to tweak what he's doing and be like, right, I've tried to play football, it's not working. I need to look at plan B.
So sorry, I've done what I accused Daz of earlier. I asked a poor question, I guess, because it's not just where they are, it's the how. So if you're in Burnley's hierarchy, right? You've seen the kind of players you got. Is there a thing of we need a bit more pragmatism from you, Vincent. Like, actually, based on the players we've got and what we've done, if you're willing to compromise a little bit and just get through these games, you know, you can't come to the Prem and be this expansive, etc., etc. Does that fall into it? Because I've watched games and I'm like, you guys are actually doing most of what he wants, right? Most of how he wants to play the game. You're holding your own. You know, technically they're keeping the ball, they're shifting it around. It's that final third where it's hard, and that's the hardest thing in the Prem, right? Scoring goals. Is there an element of saying, Vincent, just do what you need to do to keep us in there, man? Just do enough.
Yeah, do it.
And we'll give you more players next summer to take you the next step. Like, and that's why I'm asking, is he safe? Because as an owner, do you let him down his sword or you plan for going back? Because I think I said early on, some of the signings they're making, 40 million on that keeper, etc., smells to me like a team who are ahead of our plan, who will happily go back down with the parachute money, build the best team in the championship, then come back and stay. Yeah. But now you're here, you know, is there a danger? Do you let him down his sword or do you say, you know what, actually, we want to stay in here?
Like, just aim for 17th, innit? Like, that's all you got to do.
I think they'll let him, you've got to let him down his sword. I think it would be crazy to sort of look at changing it now. Many a team have done that.
Must be so frustrating. Yeah, but
10 years later, they're still in the championship because they've done that and they've gambled.
But other teams, we can see that they're blatantly not good enough. When you watch the Burnley team, you can see most of it is there. Like, from the everything up onto the opposition box here, they're better than most promoted. They're better than some teams that have been in the Prem 2-3 years. And then the rest of it.
But has he got the personnel to change it as well? Because this is how they've been playing for 2 years now. They've been playing like this last year. So
and that's what I'm saying. Maybe,
can you flip it? But the difference with what you said about Cooper, he had a whole new squad. He brought in all these different players and stuff. I don't know whether companies got that luxury of bringing in all these different players.
I don't think he needs to go that far. So even if you look at his January signings, maybe he's just got to flip the script a bit. Look, when he wants to change it now, again, no disrespect, but he's bringing on Jay Rodriguez. You know, at this stage of his career, and you're in the Prem, you're trying to change games, you're trying to make things happen. So yeah, he's probably a good season pro to have around the club, etc. But that's not, you know,
where's he going to carry you?
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know. You're right. What does that mean? But there's definitely a spectrum of what they're doing now, and almost just winning a bit uglier, compromising a little bit on that. Maybe going direct a cycle or two earlier. Yeah, I don't know, mate. But I do think that there's definitely some things around this.
Looks like the bottom four have already been cut adrift. It looks like it's 3 from 4 already.
Yeah, basically. I'd say that. Luton are 5 points off Everton. Yeah, it's not looking good.
And they've all won one game in 11. So if you win one more in the next 11, then
it's gonna be close, man. It's gonna be close. And then now it's almost just don't get sucked in there. There's almost, to your point, there's a bit of a cliff edge now. So as the season goes on, don't drop below this barrier. Keep them adrift. So where they might win games, etc. You keep going. Yeah. So yeah, table's forming. As I said, you get 12 around 12 games in. Yeah. It's starting to set a little bit. So that's interesting. All right, let me just round up the other scores. Excuse me. Sheffield United 2, Wolves 1. Massive win for Sheffield United. Yeah. The penalty. Oh my God.
Now this, if you're gonna make a statement about something, this is when you make a statement. I thought that was the worst. I think that's maybe the worst decision I've seen this
for those ever
this season.
What happened?
99th minute of the game. Sheffield United in the box, Wolves player. He's gone to make a tackle. He's kind of stopped himself. It's basically exactly the same as what happened to Wolves the week before against Newcastle. Yeah. He's kind of stopped himself. The Sheffield United player has gone over and the referee's given a penalty, thinking that he's touched him. He's not really touched him. It might have been the slightest touch, but nothing to make him go over.
And VAR?
But do you think they give it because they gave the one last week? So they're being consistent?
That was bad.
Yeah, terrible.
That was bad.
Gary O'Neill, man, he's not having a good rub of the green, is he?
That
he must have been going mad in the post interview.
No, I think he held his cool. You know, let's be honest. To give him his dues, he just said he don't want to talk about it. But that was bad. That was real bad.
Yeah, it was.
And the Sheffield United player, he didn't even turn around to appeal. He jumped back up to try and carry on playing football because he knew it weren't a pen.
Yeah.
But yeah, that referee he is poor. He was like, he gave it too quick. You know where the ref just gives, straight, literally happened, penalty. And it's like, oh no, you've gone too quick.
And then it's,
and then
90
VAR,
plus 10.
And then VAR, it's maybe thinking about last week. They're thinking this, it's bad.
Crazy. And then 90 plus 10, big pressure, pen, and he smashes it. Boy. I mean, I don't know. Sometimes I see that and I think, composure. But I actually think, no, that's nervousness. All of that is just unleashed all the nervousness in that pen. And he was
kind of admitted that he didn't know where it was going. In the post-match interview, he was like, he was like,
so face value looked good.
Yeah.
But, oh man, what a pen. But yeah, big 3 points for them. I mean, they still only got 4 points, but this might be the worst relegation performance. Like from the teams that get relegated, it must, as a collective, we might see.
It's like no one wants to stay up.
Yeah, but you got Luton have not been in the bottom three now for a good few weeks, a good 3-4 weeks now.
Yeah. It's gonna be interesting. Nottingham Forest 2, Aston Villa 0. Didn't see that coming.
Yeah.
Did not see that coming at all. Ends kind of Villa's kind of good run, and again it gets Forest back up the table. I mean, where are we now? They're 13th, 13 points. So they're in the mix of that group you said, you know? So fair play. Everyone criticised how many players they bought, etc. But actually, even this season, they benefited from that, those purchases they made last season. Some of them didn't work out, Lingard, etc. But players are here, Awoniyi, etc.
Yeah, bad mistake from Martinez for the second goal, though.
Yeah, couldn't happen to a nicer guy.
And he best keeper. No, what did he win best keeper?
Yeah,
last
he did.
week?
Monday.
Best keeper. No.
Right, you see where you said I don't like people? That's a guy that like 100%. Don't care if it's Arsenal. He's.
I saw a tweet last week where he came on for Leno when Leno got injured, and they said that's like the sliding doors moment of his career. If Leno didn't get injured, his whole trajectory doesn't happen.
I was at Brighton.
Yeah,
that was because of Mope.
Yeah,
that's when Mope injured Leno.
So if that doesn't happen, Messi might not have a World Cup.
Relax. Everton won, Brighton won. I think that's a good point for Everton. I know they're at home, but I mean they took the lead 7 minutes in and then Ashley Young on goal. So I didn't see this game.
When was the Ashley Young goal? Was that late? The
84th minute.
Yeah, it was quite late.
84th minute.
Oh,
I mean, I
thought Pickford was at fault for it.
Really?
Yeah, it's a cross of Matoma and it's flipped top of Ashley Young and it's gone above Pickford's head. I don't know. He just sort of just tried to. I feel like he should have just pushed it over the bar. I don't know what. He sort of like just fell back.
But then you read the stats of the game, and again, I know it can be misleading. However, Brighton 80% possession.
Yeah, that's what they were saying. They had all
80.
the ball. They had all the ball.
But, Everton had 10 shots, 4 of them which on target. Brighton only had 7 shots, 2 of which were on target. So again, you got to use the possession, right? But again, another vital point for Everton. They creep further up. And as you say, that point, difference, they're 5 points away from Luton now. But I expected a Brighton win, to be honest. I know Everton have been ticking up, but I thought we'd get a Brighton win there. I think that is all the games talked about. Cool. Moving on briefly, we've had a couple of, people returning to their spiritual homes. We had, Declan Rice going back to West Ham on Wednesday, not a happy return for him. We've had Pochettino go back to Spurs today. Must be happy with that. Let's start with Rice. I've got a few views on the Poch one. I like the way he's patterning it, but Rice came back. There were a few people. Well, most of the crowd seemed to applaud him and, give him a bit of, a welcome back to recognise his time there. Of course, it's 2023's football. People are booing him when he touched the ball, etc. What are your thoughts on this? Is it just fans being fans or?
So, it's funny. On Wednesday, I was listening to TalkSport and they have fans phoning, etc. A West Ham fan phoned in and he was like, Rice is a Judas. I was like, what? And he's like, he could have gone to anyone else apart from Arsenal.
Yeah.
And
But we don't have a real rivalry.
and I would have been.
No.
And in my head, I was thinking,
it must be in their head.
I was like,
It's not like he went to Chelsea or something.
yeah, I was like, there's no rivalry there. And he was like, what's he going to win there? He could have stayed with us or gone on to somewhere else for bigger and better. And I think a lot of these issues where a manager or a player goes back to an old club, it's fans trying to create something that's not there or that's there within themselves and they want to project it onto the players or the managers. Like, for far as I'm concerned, like Declan Rice didn't do anything wrong in terms of getting his.
I think he handled it really well.
Yeah,
and
he
he
was
was another example. I mean, you've talked about it a few times. He's such a likable individual. I think the way he handled all of that, it was pretty quiet at the right
It was
time.
like he knew how much West Ham wanted for him. He never came out. He didn't put in a transfer request. He didn't do that thing where he signed a new contract and gets more money before he leaves, etc. He was just like, I think it's time for me to have a new challenge. West Ham said, right, if you get 100 million, go ahead. Yeah. And I just think it's like, I can understand like intense rivalries like back in the day. Like Sol Campbell going to Arsenal back in the day, I kind of get why there was a little bit of animosity there. But I think even if you look at players now, they're kind of squashing the rivalries between clubs and players, etc. Like, so it's all kind of being held on to by the fans. And I think that's why it's just a bit it's nonsense.
I think we're also seeing less pure homebred players. So even Declan Rice, he came from Chelsea.
Yeah.
Right? We're seeing less and less of like, I don't know, the Scholes and the Beckhams or an Nketiah or a Saka who came and even Nketiah. He came to Arsenal at 14, 15 when he was from Chelsea. Yeah.
And a lot of these younger youth players are swapping clubs early.
I was about to say, the way they've professionalized the youngsters game, you know, people are coveted at 12, 13 now. I think we're going to see a lot less of that. I think we might have seen the last of the Mark Nobles, mate. Do you know what I mean? Like, people
100%.
have come all the way through. So I think that helps. But also, you know, there was talk of Declan Rice going to Chelsea, right? Even as a West Ham fan, he came steaming. He came from Chelsea. You know, that would have been him going back to the club that kind of, you know, that is home. Yeah. So yeah, you know my view. Sometimes football fans they're just tribal to the point of borderline stupidity. Yeah. It doesn't make any sense to me. And then he loses, which you don't want to do when you go back to your club. But it is a Carabao Cup. We need to go there and deal with them in the league. But what do you think about it?
Well, I was there on Wednesday, so I went in the way end.
Do you go to games now?
To be fair, I was like,
do you reckon that's what
really, do you know what? I was actually really disappointed and surprised. I was expecting him to get a big rousing reception.
Yeah, same.
You got to think he's picked up a European trophy for them 4 months ago. And when's the last time they've won something? Years and years and years. I think there's only 3 captains who ever won something for West Ham, and he's one of them.
Yeah.
I was expecting the whole stadium to give him a standing ovation. And it was a little clap, a little few boos, but I thought it was a bit disappointing because this whole West Ham Arsenal rivals thing, this is new to me.
It's no rivalry.
Yeah, even when it was the transfer was going through, they was all like, why is he going to Arsenal? Blah, 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 blah. Had he gone Man City, where they all wanted him to go, there would have been no problem. There would have been no problem on Wednesday. He would have got the biggest reception going if he was in a Man City shirt.
Maybe it's a London thing.
It must be.
Possibly.
Like, it's very disappointing because what he's achieved there, I think he deserved a bit more than what they gave him.
Yeah, it boils down to the expectation that fans put on players. They expect it back in equal measure, and that's not how life works. Like,
that speaks to another situation as well. Rashford, we
need to talk about that as well.
We do need to talk about that.
So quickly on the Poch piece, he's gone back today, and I feel like he's been quite open about his time at well, I say open. He's not watched his words as much as I thought he would. So when he joined Chelsea, he talked about them being the biggest club in London. and said some other things that affected his Chelsea TV kind of arrival interview, which, you know, irked the Spurs fans no end. Like, you can imagine the Spurs fans are in groups, I mean, they were crazy. Then I saw, again, pre-match stuff. He's saying, listen, I didn't leave off my own choice. I was sacked. He said it like clearly.
He said that.
He said, me and my staff, we were sacked. We didn't leave. We didn't pack up our bags when they sort out. He said, no, we were sacked. So everyone be clear about that. And I think it's refreshing. There's no political. No. I would still be there today if they didn't fire me, innit? That was effectively his message. I mean, we've not seen the game. We've been here recording, but I can only imagine the reception he's got. And he's gone back then. I don't care what the second is. He stumped them 4-1.
Tottenham fans online saying, yeah, let's get ready to boo Pochettino, blah, blah. I'm like, right. Like, as you said, he didn't choose to leave. He was sacked.
Yeah.
And in the last 10, 20, or since they won the League Cup, he's brought them their best moments that they've had.
League finals, all of that.
Like, he's going Chelsea, though.
But it doesn't matter.
That is a big rivalry.
When George Graham went there, I didn't hear them complaining, bruv.
That is a big rivalry.
It doesn't. If Arteta joined Tottenham tomorrow, how does it affect you?
I couldn't care less.
Bruv, this is it.
Yeah.
Like, it don't
I might be happy. I might be happy.
I don't know whether a lot of it is...
It's in their head.
Is it
forced?
Is it more like pantomime stuff? It's not actually like, oh my God, I'm upset?
Nah,
or is it more like, boo?
There are fans who are spitting blood.
Bro, you've been to enough games now. You've been to enough games now to know that for some of these guys, it's very, very real. Like, I say it all the time. People are going to get tired of me saying it. Either I don't love the game enough or they love the game too much. Because...
I think it's the latter. I think it's the latter.
Bro, it's unreal. And it's not like he left you lot and went straight there. He went to PSG, you know, a club in a stratosphere you lot don't understand. He's left there and now
it's a job. Like,
it's a proper
job.
It's a step up from the Spurs job.
It's like, man's got to work. Okay, he doesn't have to work, but he wants to work.
He's an ambitious manager.
And he's like, right, this is a job. I'm going to take it.
So what do you think they should do, the Tottenham fans? You think they should clap him or do nothing?
He should get a rousing reception.
I don't think he needs a reception.
I don't think you get rousing reception.
Do nothing. Like,
I agree with you. Do nothing.
Insignificant. Yeah. Right, if you want to go to Chelsea, go to Chelsea, but
he didn't win anything.
You shouldn't be baying for his blood.
No, but I'm looking from their point of view. When he was there, he was the best thing since sliced bread. Remember? It's Poch this, Poch that, blah, blah, blah. So if he was that great, reflect that when he returns. It's like your new home. You've moved on. You've got Ange, who's now the new best thing ever. You know, people are using him as a comparison as to why Ten Hag should be looked at like 12 games versus 18 months. I think that's a ludicrous comparison people have used. Emery, maybe he's been a bit longer, but you can't use Ange and say, oh look, he's made a difference already. What's Ten Hag doing? It's been 11 games and we'll see what going on now with 4 defenders out. Yeah,
he has won 3 straight manager of the months.
Good for him.
Never been done before.
We'll see in May because it's early doors.
And it would have been interesting. It would have been interesting if Ronaldo had joined Man City because remember he was on the cusp, and you know how Man United fans were standing for Ronaldo.
Yeah.
All up until.
But it's all about the club, innit? It's all because even with the Poch thing, if he come back with Barcelona or someone like that, he'd get big, massive reception.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
It's just literally about the club.
Chelsea.
Yeah.
So I think he should get a reception that befits this team they held him in.
Yeah.
And then that should be it. But I'm sure when we go and watch the highlights, it'll be lots of boos. There'll be lots of, just crazy football stuff. And you know they got that wall. I mean, I hate to say it, but it's pretty impressive.
Yeah, I've been in there.
And that stand, because it's tearless.
You've been in there?
Yeah.
What are you doing in there?
I'm a football fan. I consume football which way I can.
I've been to the Spurs stadium a few times. For reasons I'll tell you offline. But yeah, I just think football.
Just grow up, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Get a grip, lads. Just get a grip.
Yeah.
I had a couple of other points, but let's get on to this Rashford thing. What? I have a view, but let me get your view. What do you think
on this? I think it's absolute...
Let John set the scene first.
Yeah.
Let John set the scene.
So for those that don't know, after Manchester United lost quite comprehensively the Manchester derby, Marcus Rashford was pictured, recorded, and I'm gonna do it in the order it was reported. Right, he was out enjoying a night out in a nightclub. To which everyone, as we do in this country, said, "Oh, how could he be out partying after losing to City?" Blah blah blah. Then it emerged. Well, actually, it was his birthday party, which would suggest that it was planned anyway, and he did it after the game because he couldn't do it before. Obviously, be preparing, etc. And that has now set a lot of conversations as to, based on the result that day, whether he should have still gone out and socialized or not. No one seems to care that it's his birthday. No one seems to care that he has something to celebrate. It was more the fact of, you lost that day, everything should go in the bin. Stay in your house. Go on, Des.
Anyone who thinks that really needs to take a hard look at themselves. This is absolutely ridiculous.
Mate.
It's his birthday. He's got his birthday party planned. He's got a life. He's living his life. As far as football is, these people need to realise it's just his job. He's just a football player. It's just his job at the end of the day. If I have a bad day at work, do you think, oh, I'm not going out to celebrate my birthday? It doesn't make no sense whatsoever. I can't believe anyone thinks they can have a problem with this.
Are you surprised though?
He never broke any rules. The club have come out and said he's not broke any rules because it's the day of the game. The game's done.
Yeah.
You ain't got another game for 3 days.
Yeah.
You can go and do what you want. It's your free time.
Yeah.
So he's arranged his birthday.
Well in advance.
Yeah, well in advance. So even if you arranged it on the day, who cares? It's his own free time. He's not a football player anymore. He's clocked off of work. He can do whatever he wants.
But to the point, and this is why I wanted to go to this from that, to the point Keith just made, this is very real for a lot of people. He's a public figure. He has a lot of money.
Crazy.
He's at our club, blah, blah, blah. And if you see some of the conversation around it, you see Paul Merson and Clinton Morrison were having a pretty heated debate. And even Clinton Morrison was saying, no, he can go out for dinner, but he can't go to a nightclub.
No, why?
What?
He can do whatever he wants.
What's the difference?
That makes no sense.
Are you angry that he's out? So, he can go out for dinner, but he can't go to a nightclub.
That doesn't make
What
sense.
are we talking about here?
He can
But
do whatever he
it goes
wants.
back to the fan,
Yeah.
the fan experience in it. So it's essentially,
Yeah, but these commentators, they drive that though. So those kind of comments,
100%.
drip feed,
It's madness.
they drive that narrative and that way of thinking.
No, but do you know what? There's another element to this that is not really being discussed.
Yes.
And it's a certain perception.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to say it's because he's young, he's rich, and he's black. And then they will come out and say,
And all they're seeing is
he's
rap
out.
video.
Yeah.
They're just seeing rap video.
Yeah.
They're just seeing rap video. He's in a club. He's out partying. And that whole image altogether, how he dresses, the jewelry, it's not a picture that mainstream Britain likes.
It's only certain players you hear this about. The Sterlings, Rashford, that. It's only certain players
Sancho.
that they're going to be, Sancho, that they're going to be looking at. Like, it's ridiculous. Go on,
no, like you say, in terms of the fans, like, footballers are in a position that they would love to be in.
Yes.
And it's like, when they when they see footballers doing things that they perceive as overstepping the mark and not appreciating where they feel they should be, they're like, you're doing wrong. But what a lot of fans do is forget the time and effort it takes to get to where a Marcus Rashford, a Jadon Sancho or Sterling gets to. Like, it starts when they're like 6, 7, 8 and they're playing football week in, week out. Their parents are driving them up and down the country to play games. They can see it as, right, you're at this club now, you're earning X amount of money. We as fans have a right to say how you should live your life and respond to defeats or victories.
Yeah.
No, you don't. You can respond to a defeat or victory any way you like. If your team loses and you want to sit in your house and not talk to anyone or punch a hole in the wall, etc., that's fine. But just because you're a professional footballer doesn't mean I have to respond the way that you want me to.
And that's the key. And the thing is, to your point, he's not broken any rules. And the reason why I say all the narrative, because we have a lot of old tropes here, that get perpetuated all the time.
Yeah.
And it goes back to the point I made before about, things about narratives around clubs, the standards, the expectations. All of that is perpetuated by the people who are in the media and the commentary. So now Man United can't get rid of the past because half the people you see on your TV screen, you're talking about games, are ex-Man United.
Yeah.
And we had that with Liverpool for. But it's the same with this. You've got people like Paul Merson on TV who in 2023, and the hypocrisy of it really pisses me off.
Yeah.
Paul Merson of all
You
people.
got Paul Merson of all people
Yeah.
saying that someone can't go out and celebrate their birthday when it wasn't even your birthday. You man were hitting it hard after
Every
games.
week.
Yeah.
Every week.
And,
yeah.
and it's funny, like I was listening to something Ray Parlour was saying. He was like, when he was playing under Wenger, they would play a game and there'd be like a local, like what they call it, social clubs that he would go to and just get battered after a game.
Imagine. So what I think I struggle with a lot of these guys is there's no acknowledgement, there's no humility of listen. Don't get me wrong. I wouldn't even mind if he said in my day we didn't follow this, but I think in today's day and age you shouldn't be doing that. He was just saying like, no, that's not right. That's not how it is. You're telling someone else to do something you never managed to do in your career.
Yeah.
And
it's always, what does it look like? Who cares?
Who cares?
I don't understand.
And the other thing I don't
Look like
is
to
if
who?
he had scored a hat trick that day,
Then he can go out for
then
his
he can go
birthday.
out.
That's a
Yeah,
thought.
you-
He's got to wait until the game's finished to know whether he can go out for his birthday or not.
And don't get
That's
me wrong,
ridiculous.
I am one of Marcus Rashford's biggest critics this season. One of his biggest. I think he you know, he's looking like new contract syndrome. You know the one day I've got a contract signed, I'm good. Doesn't seem to be putting in the effort. I don't know whether he's off form or whatever. And I just have the theory about him is when a contract is due, that's when you see mad Rashford and then it just tails off again. But all of this nonsense has to stop. And it's interesting. I remember when Wayne Rooney went to play in America. I was reading a couple articles and they were saying, you know, this is Wayne Rooney. Like, you know, if you watch ball, no matter what country you're in, he goes to Barcelona, walks down the street, whatever, they'll be like, raw, that's Wayne Rooney. So in America, there's none of that rubbish. Not about his fame, but if he goes out after a game and has a meal and has a glass of wine or whatever, no one cares. No one cares. And you see that across other sports. You see NBA players, they will openly sit there and discuss whatever. They'll be talking about the wine, they're drinking their wine or they're drinking a spirit, whatever. It's not a problem as long as you practice properly and you train properly. But here, again, this fake moral high ground, it's not professional. How would you know? How many minutes of professional football have you lived in your entire life?
They see playing football as a privilege, and
stupid.
It's not like everyone's like they can see the money and be like, you should be privileged that you earn that amount of money. No, I earn that amount of money because of the hard work and dedication that I put in behind the scenes that you don't see has got me here.
And I'll be honest. I'll be very honest. Even if I didn't put in that much hard work or that much dedication, but I have a talent you don't have. There are players, we've seen them where they didn't have to train as hard as me or as you or whatever, but they were so good, they made it to the pros, I could do what they did. So even if you didn't have to work that hard for it, irrelevant. You have something that's put you in the top, not even 1%, in the top 0.01% of everyone that plays this game. That's it. But we have a bad habit of doing that here. Even if it's not sport, people who are successful, we like to tell people what to do with things that we've never understood or had to achieve ourselves. We like to tell them what to do with it. We love that in this country.
I'd just like anyone to tell me what result would have been acceptable for him to go celebrate his birthday. So they lost 3-0, so he can't go out and celebrate. If they won 3-0, then they could have.
They
drew if they lost, what happens if you draw? Can you go out to your birthday?
But you can't drink.
I just need to know what results.
And everyone was getting on to
It don't make
Morrison.
sense.
But I was annoyed with Morrison. I was annoyed with Clinton Morrison because I'm like,
he's kind of justify what they're saying. Innit?
Like you're there, you know the perception thing because you had it early with, you know, when he had his haircut, something like you had a lot of that. People were judging you early doors. And you're sitting there saying, no, if you went out for dinner, it's fine, but he can't go to a club. What are you talking about?
Morrison, he was thinking like us, but kind of back down and
didn't want to say
he wasn't real in that moment. Because he didn't want the argument and but he was.
And he was sandwiched between the two worst people. Paul Merson on his right and Danny Mills to his left. I mean,
and it was a private party as well. It wasn't even like he went like just to a regular shubs. It was his party, like it was controlled.
He hired out the whole club and all that.
Like it was.
They said he should have cancelled it. Gary Neville and that said, we cancelled them back in the day if we lost the match. It's ridiculous.
Because there's that story of when Sir Alex Ferguson bust into a house party and they was all in there and he had to drag man out. So yeah.
Yeah, but again, this is Gary Neville, as we see from the Beckham documentary. You know, he lived and died by what Alex told him since he was 10 years old, it seems like. So I'm not surprised by that.
Madness.
But yeah, I think that narrative, you know, listen, as sort of black men from London, we've seen that narrative from a very young age and how it's developed over time. I remember the whole Micah Richards thing, and I'll never forget, there was one newspaper article that called it out. It was in The Guardian, saying that, you know, everyone's happy with these young footballers earning money unless they're black.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. And calling out how the narrative around Raheem Sterling and Micah Richards and quote unquote bling and all of that. And I think it's calmed down a little bit, but it's still there. The undertones are still there.
Yeah.
I think the last time it really manifested itself properly was with Souness's incessant attack on Paul Pogba, and it started with the haircuts and all of that.
Yeah.
And then I reckon someone's had a word. And be like, listen, that's not. So then it became, tried to make it more about his football. But it goes back to that they see people and they don't understand, right? You know, they see these kids and they don't understand the culture they're tapping into. People were worrying about Lingard and him dancing in the changing room. Bruv, I grew up in an era where players were falling out of clubs at 1 a.m. and getting arrested for a fray and that. If the worst thing that we've got is kids, is the youths dancing in the change room on TikTok, happy days.
But even the manager come out and said, it wasn't the right thing to do.
Yeah, but then why wasn't he in the squad? Was that injury?
Yeah, it was injury. He's not punished him, but he said
it's not good.
He said it's not good optics.
It's not a good sequence of events.
Nah, it's not.
Yeah, but and then he's first of all he said, it's his birthday party. He's not breaking any rules while you're there. But then why are you saying it's not? I swear he said it's not acceptable.
Yeah, that's what he said. Yeah.
So he's throwing them under the bus as well.
That doesn't make sense. But in the same breath, you said he's not broken any rules, any club rules. So how you say
what's unacceptable about it? Anyway, I think Ten Hag is all over the place right now. He doesn't know what he's doing. But yeah, every once in a while there's a reminder. There's always a reminder that, you know.
And then now Rashford's got this injury. Well, we hope it's an injury.
Yeah. The rules are not the same for everybody. And let's remember, it's not too long ago Jack Grealish said, yeah, I'm not like everyone. I do like to go out and have a party. I do like to go out and have a drink. That was fine.
But he'll get leeway because they won, innit?
It's just Jack. He's a lad, isn't he?
It's acceptable if one looks and face fits. Very, very quickly, as we're running out of time. Girona are top of La Liga.
Yep.
Many of you be saying, who? But it's a small team in Spain, which is part owned by the City Group and Pep Guardiola's brother. And they have been doing very, very well. And as of this weekend, they're top. Real Madrid are second. Barcelona are third. Barcelona drew this weekend. Real Madrid drew this weekend. Barcelona won. I mean, it's not going to last. However,
it'd be good if it did, man. Like, Valencia were the last team to win the league.
It'll be an interesting problem for Man City because there's rules now about ownership in the Champions League. So imagine they get a Champions League play. I mean, it's not going to happen. They'd have to sell some shares or something. So interesting, but it's always good to see those stories. Maybe they'll do a Leicester, right? Maybe.
Possibly.
But maybe. And then we've got Leverkusen in the Bundesliga. Xavi Alonso. I mean, I don't know if you guys have seen that video when he's pinging out the passes. Oh, bro.
Did you see the full video? Because there was like a short one where he done that pass that everyone kind of saw.
Yeah.
There's a video, I think it was like 2 minutes long.
Yeah.
And it was just like, ping.
Yeah, I've seen that one. Yeah. Ping. And I'm just like, bro, you could probably still play now. But yeah, the football they're playing, everyone's talking about the football and the rotations and the fluidity. Xhaka's out there looking like prime Pirlo. Even though they play at half the speed there, so you can.
Quick shout out for Harry Kane as well. He got a hat-trick and...
Well, he's breaking a record. I think he's got 13 goals in 10 games already.
Killing it.
Absolutely killing it. And he's doing it in the Champions League as well. Should have left Tottenham a long time, Harry, man. He's been doing this for a long time. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, that's a bit of a round robin. Couple of surprising things going on in other leagues. I don't think they'll maintain it, but it's good to see. Leverkusen might do though.
Leverkusen doing really well.
And they're playing good football. They're winning in Europe. So
yeah, Alonso's being touted as the next up and coming manager, innit? So,
yeah. I think rightly so.
If they keep up, it'll be interesting where he goes.
Yeah, no,
afterwards.
rightly so. I would say rightly so. Yeah. All right. I think that's it for this week.
Yep.
Thanks, Daz. Key, as always,
Yep.
please listen, like, share, and subscribe. Comment.
What was I called? I can't remember what I was called in the comments this week.
Oh,
My comment
it was something.
It was a good one. Yeah, man. It was a good one.
I'm not gonna lie, rattled me still.
They went a bit overboard, if you ask me. But
it said, was it mentally challenged or something like that? It was something like that.
yeah, it's the most mentally challenged comment I've seen ever or something. You don't carry on in the comments. Carry on. Most of us don't have time to reply, but I'm going to be on it now. I'm going to be on the comments now.
The correct term was, this is the most bogus, mentally challenged statement I have ever heard.
Yeah, you need to get out more, mate.
Yeah, you didn't come back to my reply though. So
of course they didn't. Never did. Keyboard warriors. But yeah, keep the comments coming in. Isaac and Keita.
We love them, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, keep them coming, man. It's fun. The engagement and interaction. Nice.
Indeed. All right. Peace.
Peace.